What if everything you've ever wanted, success, confidence, peace of mind, starts with how you think? What if the biggest obstacle standing between you and your goals isn't outside forces, but the way you handle setbacks and challenges? Today, we're going to dive into how to build a success mindset that doesn't crumble when things get tough, but uses every struggle as fuel to move forward. You'll learn why failure is not the end, how to turn your mistakes into stepping stones, and why deciding to keep going is the most powerful choice you can make. This video is for anyone tired of feeling stuck, ready to stop doubting themselves, and hungry to create real change. Stick around, because by the end you'll have the mindset tools to turn your toughest moments into your greatest victories. Let's get started and change how you see success forever. Chapter 1. Define your purpose and commit to your vision. Everything changes the moment you define your purpose. Until then, you're drifting. You're moving, yes, but you're not going anywhere meaningful. Purpose isn't something mystical or reserved for the chosen few. It's something you choose, something you define with clarity, and something you commit to with your life. Purpose gives direction. It creates boundaries. It lights the path forward. Without it, you're just reacting to life instead of building it. Most people are waiting for the right time. They think purpose is a lightning strike, a sudden moment of insight that clears the fog forever. But that's not how it works. Purpose is built from within. It comes from asking yourself the difficult questions and being brutally honest with your answers. What do you care about? What are you willing to struggle for? What impact do you want to leave behind when your time is up? These are not questions you answer once. These are questions you live. Every single day, if you're not clear on why you're doing what you're doing, you will break the moment life gets heavy. Challenges will bury you. Distractions will pull you. Opinions will sway you. But when your purpose is defined, those same challenges sharpen you. Those same distractions lose their power. Those same opinions become noise. Purpose is the foundation of inner strength. It is the mental armor you wear when the world tests your resilience. You must be willing to sit with yourself in silence and confront the real answers. Not the ones that sound good. Not the ones others want to hear. The ones that haven't. The ones that challenge your comfort. You can't build a successful mindset on vague hopes. You build it on truth. And your truth is found in purpose. When you define it, your life changes. Not because the world gets easier, but because you finally know what matters. Most people confuse goals with purpose. Goals are targets, but purpose is the reason you picked up the bow in the first place. You can have all the goals in the world, but if your purpose is unclear, you'll sabotage yourself. You'll chase things that don't fulfill you. You'll hit targets that don't satisfy you. You'll succeed by other people's standards, but feel empty inside. This is how people get rich and depressed, famous and lost, successful and miserable. Purpose is the only compass that prevents you from climbing the wrong mountain. Start by stripping away everything you think you're supposed to be. Forget what your parents want. Forget what society praises. Forget what your friends expect. Ask yourself who you are without the pressure. Ask yourself what kind of life would make you proud when you're old and alone. This is not a quick exercise. This is deep work. And it's the work that most people avoid, which is why most people stay stuck. When you define your purpose, you gain clarity on what to say yes to and what to walk away from. You stop wasting time. You stop entertaining drama. You stop compromising on your values. Life becomes more focused, more intentional, more meaningful. You stop drifting and you start building. And with purpose, every action becomes deliberate. Every setback becomes part of the path. Every day becomes a brick in the foundation of something that matters. But purpose without commitment is just fantasy. It means nothing if you're not willing to back it up with discipline, sacrifice, and daily action. You can't just say you want to change the world, then spend every weekend numbing yourself with distractions. You can't claim to value growth while avoiding every uncomfortable decision. Commitment is what makes purpose real. Commitment turns your vision into momentum. The truth is, most people quit long before results show up. They get excited for a week, maybe a month. Then life gets in the way. Stress kicks in. Motivation drops. Doubt grows, but commitment is what carries you through those moments. It's what keeps you going when nothing is working. It's what makes you get back up after failure. When your vision is strong enough, you don't need motivation. You just do the work. You wake up and move forward because your purpose demands it. You have to be loyal to your vision, even when the world doesn't see it. Even when no one claps for you. Even when progress is invisible. This is where character is built. This is where self-respect is earned. If you only work when it's easy or exciting, you don't want it bad enough. You have to be obsessed with doing what matters, even when nobody notices. That's how you win long-term. Quietly, consistently, relentlessly. There will be days when you question yourself. Days when everything feels too hard. Days when quitting seems easier. And on those days you must return to your purpose. You must remember why you started. You must remind yourself that you're not doing this for comfort. You're doing it to become who you were meant to be. You're doing it because your life has value, and you refuse to waste it. Success doesn't belong to the smartest or the most talented. It belongs to the most committed. The people who wake up early, show up daily, and push forward even when it's not convenient. The people who know what they want and are willing to endure everything it takes to get there. That can be you, but only if you stop waiting and start building. Take time today to write down your purpose. Not a polished statement, just the raw truth. What matters to you? What are you tired of tolerating? What future would make your struggle worth it? Be specific. Be honest, then write down what actions would reflect that purpose. What habits would support it? What changes do you need to make immediately? Once you define your purpose, treat it like a sacred contract. Hold yourself to it. Let it shape your choices. Let it guide your day. When you feel tired, return to it. When you feel lost, read it. This is not a one-time task. This is your anchor. And over time, the more you live aligned with your purpose, the stronger your mind becomes. You stop needing outside validation. You stop chasing approval. You build a mindset that is rooted in conviction, not convenience. A powerful purpose gives you clarity during chaos. It keeps you grounded when life feels unstable. It reminds you that you're not here to impress people. You're here to grow, to lead, to serve, to build a life you won't regret. This mindset can't be given to you. It must be earned. And it starts with getting clear on your why and committing fully to your vision. Commitment means you show up no matter how you feel. It means you don't negotiate with your purpose. You don't adjust your dreams to fit your excuses. You adjust your actions to fit your dreams. You push through the mental resistance. You hold yourself to a higher standard. And you do it because you refuse to live below your potential. There will always be distractions. There will always be reasons to delay. But if your purpose is real, you don't negotiate with those temptations. You stay focused. You stay disciplined. You stay on the path. And every day you move one step closer to the life you deserve. Your life is your responsibility. Your mindset is your tool, and your purpose is your guide. Don't waste another year searching for meaning when you could be creating it. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Start where you are. Take control of your direction and commit fully to the vision that makes your life worth fighting for. This is the first and most important decision you'll ever make. Not what job you take, not what goals you chase, but what purpose you choose to live for. Because once you define that, everything else falls into place. Your discipline makes sense. Your sacrifices feel justified. Your setbacks become fuel, and your mindset becomes bulletproof. You are not here to coast. You are not here to survive. You are here to build something with your life. Something real, something lasting. But it won't happen by accident. It will happen when you define your purpose and commit without hesitation. So write it down, speak it out loud, live it every day, and never stop moving in its direction. This is how you build a success mindset. This is how you become unstoppable. This is how your life changes forever. Chapter 2. Wake up early and own your morning daily. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because of the habits you refuse to change. That's the truth. And deep down, you already know it. You've felt it in the quiet moments. The nights when you lay awake knowing you're capable of more. The mornings when you hit snooze and hated yourself for it. The days when you made the same choices that left you empty inside. The pain isn't just from where you are. It's from the life you know you should be living but aren't. The most dangerous thing in life isn't failure. It's repeating the same habits that slowly kill your potential, one day at a time, quietly, invisibly, until you look around and don't recognize who you've become. That's how people lose their edge. That's how dreams fade. That's how life passes by without ever becoming what it could have been. So you want to change your life. Don't start by looking at your goals. Don't get distracted by motivation or waiting for the right time. Start by identifying the most crucial habits to change. Because if you don't destroy the root behaviors that are holding you back, nothing else you do will stick. You'll start strong, then spiral back into the same cycles. You'll hustle for a few weeks, then sabotage yourself again. And then you'll call it fate or bad luck. But it was never that. It was just the habits you chose not to face. Look closely at your day. Not your intentions, not your plans, your actual day. What are you doing in the first hour after you wake up? What are you doing when no one's watching? How do you react when you're stressed? What do you turn to when you're bored, tired, or uninspired? That's where the truth lives. And that's where your change begins. Most people look for shortcuts, hacks, tricks. But the real transformation happens when you confront the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. The habits that make you weak. The behaviors that waste your energy. The routines that quietly shape your identity. These are the chains you must break. Not because someone told you to, but because your future depends on it. You don't fix your life in one big moment. You fix it by removing one toxic habit at a time. But to do that, you need to be honest with yourself. Completely, ruthlessly. What are you doing that's draining you? Who are you giving your energy to that doesn't deserve it? What are you consuming that's numbing your drive? What excuses have you been using to justify your comfort? Discipline starts with awareness. You can't change what you won't face, and you can't face what you keep pretending isn't a problem. You need to call it out by name, that one habit you keep brushing off, the one that feels small but is quietly stealing your progress. It might be scrolling aimlessly. It might be hitting snooze every morning. It might be lying to yourself about how hard you're working. It doesn't matter how small it seems. If it's stealing your momentum, it's destroying your future. One of the most dangerous lies is "I'll just do it tomorrow." No, you won't. Because if you were serious, you'd do it now. Habits don't change with time. They change with action. Immediate, uncomfortable, decisive action. Waiting is the habit that ruins more lives than failure ever could. So ask yourself, what is the one habit you know is hurting you the most right now? That one behavior you've been ignoring. That pattern you keep repeating. That lie you keep telling yourself. Bring it into the light. Own it. And decide, today, not tomorrow, that it doesn't belong in your life anymore. You don't need to change everything at once. That's a trap. You just need to target the habits that are doing the most damage. Start there. Break one. Replace it with something that builds you. That's how momentum is built. That's how confidence is rebuilt. That's how success starts. Change is hard, but it's not complicated. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be the most motivated. You just need to be the one who refuses to keep living the same way. If you've ever said, "I don't know where to start," now you do. Start with the habits that are killing your potential. Start with the behaviors that drain your discipline. Start with the choices you keep making that betray the life you say you want. That's the starting line. Right there, in your daily choices, in the patterns you allow, in the routines you defend. And here's something most people won't tell you: change hurts. It's supposed to. You're tearing away from something that has been part of you for years. But pain isn't the enemy. Staying the same is. You have to be willing to feel the discomfort of breaking habits that no longer serve you. You have to be willing to feel like a beginner again. To struggle, to fall, to feel lost. That's the price of transformation. And it's worth every second. Because on the other side of that pain is power. Power you've never felt before. Clarity you've never known. Strength you forgot you had. And once you get a taste of what life feels like without those destructive habits, you'll never want to go back. You'll wonder why you tolerated it for so long. You'll see how much it was costing you. You'll realize that the version of you that was settling wasn't weak, just unaware. And now, you're aware. That changes everything. Here's what you do now. You sit down and make a brutal list. Not a cute list of goals. A real list of every habit you know you need to kill. Every behavior that weakens you. Every excuse you've been using. Write it down. Face it. Then next to each one, write what habit you will build in its place. No fluff. No hope. Just real hard, strategic action. Maybe you stop scrolling the moment you wake up, and instead journal your intentions. Maybe you replace late-night binge eating with reading. Maybe you swap complaining for problem solving. You get to choose, and those choices will define your future. You can build an entirely new life by making different decisions every day. It's not magic. It's math. Change one habit, gain a new result. Stack those habits, create a new identity, build consistency, and success becomes inevitable. But none of it happens if you stay addicted to the habits that are slowly killing your momentum. This isn't about motivation. It's about standards. Raise them. Don't wait until rock bottom to make the change. Don't wait until you're out of time. Don't wait until you lose something valuable. If you know something is destroying your growth, stop giving it access to your life. Be ruthless about it. Because life is short, and mediocrity is not an option. You're capable of so much more than you're living right now. But capability means nothing. if your habits contradict it. You can't say you want greatness and keep feeding weakness. You can't chase growth and cling to comfort. One has to die, and the one you choose to let go of will determine everything. This moment right here, it's a decision. It's you looking at your life and drawing a line. No more lying to yourself. No more settling. No more hiding behind the same tired habits. You change by choosing differently. And you choose differently by identifying exactly what needs to change and attacking it with urgency. You already know what's holding you back. Now it's about having the courage to do something about it. One habit, one change, one day at a time. That's how you win. That's how you transform. That's how you reclaim the life you were meant to live. Your future doesn't need more wishes. It needs a better you. And that better you is built in the choices you make today. Start now. Start clean. Start with full conviction. And never ever go back. Because once you taste progress, once you feel momentum building, once you see how far you can go without those old habits dragging you down, you'll become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you'll finally be aligned with the person you were born to become. And that version of you, the one who refuses to settle, who faces their habits head on, who builds from the inside out, that version of you will win. Not someday, but now, if you choose to. So choose, then act, then don't stop. That's the formula. That's the way forward. That's how you build the life you can be proud of when the world isn't looking. Chapter 3. Eliminate distractions and protect your mental space. You're not behind in life, you're just distracted. And if you don't eliminate those distractions soon, you're going to wake up one day and realize you gave your potential away piece by piece. One notification, one scroll, one unnecessary conversation at a time. That's the cost of letting the world constantly invade your mental space. That's the silent killer of focus, clarity, and drive. You're not lost, you're just buried under noise. And the only way to find yourself again is to start protecting your mind like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Most people think their time is their most precious resource. It's not. It's your attention. Time without focused attention is wasted, and distractions are like thieves, quiet, invisible, and constant. They steal your energy before you even realize it's gone. You try to work, but your phone lights up. You try to think, but your mind's cluttered with things that don't matter. You try to grow, but you're too consumed with things that shrink you. And before long, you're tired for no reason, anxious for no reason, and falling behind without even understanding why. This isn't about productivity hacks or time-blocking methods. This is about taking back control of your mental environment. Because if you don't protect your space, everything outside of you will control everything inside of you. Every distraction you allow becomes a decision you didn't make. Every interruption you tolerate becomes a goal you didn't reach. Every time you say yes to something small, you're saying no to something big. You're trading focus for noise, depth for speed, mastery for entertainment. And the cost is massive. You can't build a powerful life with a scattered mind. You can't become who you were meant to be when your attention is constantly being hijacked. You're trying to grow in a mental environment that's too polluted to support your evolution. That's like trying to plant seeds in poisoned soil. Nothing meaningful will grow. Not your goals, not your habits, not your peace. Nothing. So if you're serious about changing your life, you need to become ruthless about what gets access to your mind. That means cutting the noise. That means learning to say no to things that don't align. That means taking your focus seriously, even if no one around you does. You don't need more motivation. You need more protection. You need to protect your mornings. You need to protect your thoughts. You need to protect your energy from the people and platforms that pull you away from your purpose. Not because you're better than them, but because you know where you're going, and you're not going to let anything dilute that. The reason most people can't stay consistent is because their mental space is under constant attack. They try to stay disciplined, but they're always being pulled in 10 different directions. They want to build new habits, but their phone is buzzing every 30 seconds. They sit down to do meaningful work, and suddenly they're drowning in a sea of comparison, chaos, and clickbait. How are you supposed to build a legacy when your brain is fried by the time you finish breakfast? Here's the truth: success isn't just about what you do, it's about what you don't let in. It's about what you don't respond to. It's about what you don't give your attention to. And for most people, the hardest part of leveling up isn't learning new skills. It's unlearning the behaviors that are keeping them distracted and small. Think about it. How many times have you lost hours to mindless scrolling? How many times have you said just 5 more minutes and lost momentum for the entire day? How many times have you been on the edge of something great, but you gave into distraction and never returned? You know exactly what I'm talking about, because you've felt the guilt. You've felt the weight of wasted time. You've felt the frustration of knowing you could have done more, if only you had protected your mental space. You don't need another plan. You need boundaries. You need to design your life so that focus becomes your default. That might mean turning off every notification. That might mean deleting apps you mindlessly check. That might mean waking up earlier to think without noise. That might mean walking away from people who constantly bring drama and chaos into your life. Whatever it is, you already know what it looks like. You just need to stop making excuses for the things that steal your clarity. You'll never be unstoppable until you become unavailable to what distracts you. And don't expect anyone to applaud your boundaries. They won't understand why you stopped replying so fast. They won't get why you're harder to reach. They won't like that you're less available. But that's the price of reclaiming your mind. You either stay accessible and stay stuck, or you step into your power and protect your space at all costs. Your peace of mind is more important than pleasing people who don't understand your mission. And your mission is too important to be diluted by distractions. This is your life. You don't get to rewind it. You don't get to pause it. Every moment you spend distracted is a moment of growth you never get back. You're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, you're just under attack. Mentally, emotionally, and digitally. And the only way to win this war is to start guarding your mental space like your life depends on it. Because it does. You have to understand this. Every time you check your phone out of boredom, you're reinforcing the habit of escaping. Every time you multitask, you're training your brain to never go deep. Every time you give in to distractions, you're weakening your ability to control your mind. And your mind is the battlefield. If you lose there, you lose everywhere. You can't solve deep problems with a distracted mind. You can't build deep confidence with a distracted mind. You can't make deep progress with a distracted mind. The depth you're searching for requires space, mental, emotional, and spiritual space. You have to create that space on purpose. You have to fight for it. Start with one thing, just one. Maybe it's turning your phone off for the first 2 hours of the day. Maybe it's setting one sacred hour each night to think, reflect, and plan. Maybe it's unfollowing accounts that make you feel less than. Maybe it's saying no to one more pointless conversation. One change leads to another. You start reclaiming your space inch by inch, and soon your life starts to feel lighter, clearer, stronger. You'll notice something else too. The more you eliminate distractions, the more energy you have. Not because you're doing less, but because your mind isn't constantly being pulled in opposite directions. You feel sharper. You move with more intention. You speak with more clarity. You start becoming the person you were always meant to be. Most people will never feel this because they never stop the noise long enough to feel who they really are. They're so busy reacting to everything that they forget what it feels like to think freely, to dream clearly, to act decisively. But not you, not anymore. You're going to make your focus your priority. You're going to make your peace your mission. You're going to take back every ounce of energy that's been stolen from you by unnecessary distractions, and you're going to use it to build something powerful. A mind that's unshakable, a life that's intentional, a future that's unstoppable. You won't be perfect. You'll slip, you'll forget, but you'll catch yourself faster every time, because you'll remember that your focus is your freedom, and you'll refuse to give that freedom away ever again. So here's your next move. Don't just listen to this and feel inspired. That's not enough. Take action. Go through your environment and remove one major distraction today. Not tomorrow. Today. Create a space that supports your focus. Build routines that protect your clarity. Say no to what weakens you, even if it's uncomfortable, especially if it's uncomfortable, because that's how transformation begins. In the quiet moments where you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, and vision over noise. You're not here to live a scattered, overstimulated life. You're here to become the strongest version of yourself. But that version doesn't live in the chaos. That version only shows up when the noise disappears and the mind becomes still. And that silence, that space, is where your real power begins. Take it back. Now. Chapter 4. Set clear goals and track your daily progress. You're not stuck. You're just moving without direction. And if you don't start setting clear goals now, you'll keep confusing motion with progress. You'll stay busy. You'll stay active. But you'll stay exactly where you are, tired, unfocused, and wondering why nothing ever changes. That feeling of being lost, of waking up each day not knowing what matters most. That's not a sign you're broken. It's a signal, a loud, desperate signal from your soul that's begging you to give your life some structure, some clarity, some purpose. Because without that, even your hardest effort will lead you nowhere. There are too many people walking around with enormous potential, but no direction. People with talent, drive, even discipline, but no target. And you cannot hit a target you don't see. You can't grow into something you haven't defined. You can't improve something you never measure. That's why your life feels like a loop. You're chasing progress, but you're not tracking it. You're hoping for change, but you haven't mapped it. You're wishing for success, but you haven't defined it on your own terms. Let me tell you something. The world doesn't say enough. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. And the first choice you need to make is deciding exactly where you want to go. Not where society wants you to go. Not where your past expects you to stay. Where you, the real you, actually want to go. When you wake up with a goal, your day has meaning. When you track your progress, your time has value. Every action becomes intentional. Every hour starts to serve you. Life stops being this endless storm of chaos and distraction and starts becoming a mission. And that's when your confidence begins to grow. Not from achievements, but from alignment. The problem is, Most people set vague intentions and wonder why they feel overwhelmed. I want to get better. I want to be successful. I want to feel happier. But what does better mean? What does success look like for you? What are the daily actions that would actually make you proud when the day ends? Vague goals create vague results, and vague results create disappointment that slowly poisons your self-belief. You need goals that are specific enough to guide you and strong enough to excite you. You need to look at them every morning and feel a fire light up inside you. That fire, that's what makes discipline easier. That's what makes sacrifice make sense. That's what makes all the distractions lose their power. But it's not just about the goal, it's about the daily progress. It's about the tracking, because without feedback, there's no improvement. Without reflection, there's no learning. You'll keep repeating the same day over and over again until you have the courage to face the truth. Your life is the result of what you do daily, not what you say you want, not what you think about when you're inspired, but what you actually commit to every single day. Every time you track your progress, you're sending yourself a signal. I matter. My goals matter. My growth matters. You're creating a system of self-respect. You're holding yourself accountable, not in a punishing way, but in a loving, powerful, self-aware way. That level of self-respect changes everything. Think about this. Have you ever gone a week without any real direction, then felt guilty for not doing enough? That guilt doesn't come from laziness. It comes from a misalignment between who you are and what you're doing. You're not lazy. You're not behind. You're just living without a compass. And that compass comes from goals you believe in, goals you've written down, goals you see daily, goals you track like your life depends on them. Because it does. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your systems. And your most powerful system will always be the one that keeps you grounded in the present, but connected to your future. That's what a clear goal does. That's what tracking your progress does. It bridges the gap between who you are now and who you're becoming. It's the difference between drifting and building, between wishing and winning, between noise and clarity. And don't wait for the perfect time to start. Don't wait for January 1st or some magical Monday. You don't need a new year. You need a new level of seriousness. Decide today. Grab a notebook. Open a document. Ask yourself one simple question. What do I want my life to look like in the next 6 months? Then break it down. What does that mean for your health, your mindset, your finances, your relationships, your discipline? Now take those big goals and shrink them into daily actions, daily commitments, daily tracking. If you want to be stronger, track your workouts. If you want to save money, track your spending. If you want to be more focused, track your screen time. If you want more peace, track your inputs, what you read, watch and listen to. Don't let your goals live in your imagination. Bring them into the real world. Put them where you can see them. Make them so clear that you can't ignore them. The truth is, the difference between the person you are and the person you want to be isn't luck. It's clarity, it's consistency, and it's courage. The courage to commit, the courage to act, the courage to face your daily truth, even when you fall short. Especially when you fall short, because that's how you grow. Not by pretending you're perfect, but by being honest enough to course correct every single day. You're not here to live on autopilot. You're not here to exist. You're here to thrive, to evolve, to master yourself. And that level of mastery starts with tracking. Not obsessively, not to punish yourself, but to understand yourself, to see patterns, to learn from data, to adjust intelligently. That's how athletes train. That's how champions think. That's how high performers evolve. They don't guess. They measure. They don't hope. They track. They don't wish. They build. This is how you begin to separate yourself. This is how you rise while others stay the same. Not by being louder, not by being smarter, but by being more focused, more intentional, more committed to the vision of your future self than the comfort of your current habits. And if you don't track it, you'll forget it. If you don't measure it, you'll lose it. If you don't check in with your goals, they'll fade into the background, buried beneath the noise of everyday life. That's how dreams die. Not in one moment, but through slow neglect. You deserve more than that. You deserve to look in the mirror and see someone who follows through, someone who honors their potential, someone who turns invisible dreams into visible results. But that only happens when you stop hoping and start tracking. So here's what I want you to do next. Pick one goal, just one. Make it as clear and specific as possible. Then choose one way to measure it daily, one way to hold yourself accountable, one way to stay connected to your progress. It can be a journal, a whiteboard, a spreadsheet, a habit app, doesn't matter. What matters is that you track it every day, without excuses, without drama. Just show up. Show the data. Let the numbers tell the story. Let your actions build the evidence. Let your commitment rewrite your future. Because every time you track your progress, you're not just recording numbers. You're rewriting your identity. You're becoming the kind of person who follows through. You're proving to yourself again and again that you are not your past. You are your current direction. You don't have to move fast. You just have to move forward. A little bit every day. Tracked, measured, intentional. That's how you build something unshakable. That's how you become undeniable. That's how you win. Now it's your turn. Don't just feel this. Do something with it. Make today the day you draw a line in the sand and decide, once and for all, that your life will be driven by clarity, not chaos. That your progress will be measured, not guessed. That your goals will be lived, not lost in daydreams. The future doesn't reward potential. It rewards proof. And that proof starts now. So go set the goal, track the progress, and become the person who doesn't just dream, but delivers every single day. Chapter 5. Train your focus and stay locked on priorities. You're not distracted because the world is loud. You're distracted because your mind isn't trained to stay quiet. Let that hit you for a moment. Every time you pick up your phone without thinking, every time you scroll endlessly through feeds that add nothing to your life, every time you start your day strong but end up scattered, it's not because you lack intelligence. It's not because you're weak. It's because your focus is being hijacked by 1,000 little interruptions and you haven't taken control of it yet. The world you live in is built to steal your attention. Notifications, apps, breaking news, algorithms, they're all fighting for a piece of your mind. And if you don't learn how to fight back, you'll spend your whole life being busy but never productive, reacting but never leading, consuming but never creating. That's the quiet war most people are losing right now. Not because they don't care, but because they don't see it happening. You want to win? Train your focus like it's your most valuable skill, because it is. In a distracted world, the one who can concentrate will dominate. The one who can lock in on what matters will rise while everyone else drowns in noise. The one who can stay disciplined through the chaos will achieve things the distracted mind will never even touch. But focus isn't a switch. It's a muscle. It grows with resistance. It strengthens with repetition. It sharpens when you stop chasing everything and start committing to one thing at a time. And here's the truth. Most people run from, if you don't take ownership of your attention, someone else will. That's why you can't just be inspired. You need to be intentional. Every day. So ask yourself, what truly matters to you? Not what looks impressive. Not what pleases other people. What actually moves the needle in your life? What are the few priorities that, if done consistently, would change everything for you? Most people never ask this. They confuse activity with impact. They confuse effort with effectiveness. They do 100 things that don't matter, instead of going all in on the 3 that do. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more clarity in your mind. You need the discipline to say no to 99% of things, so you can pour your energy into the 1% that will move your life forward. That's not being rigid, that's being powerful. That's how people with the same 24 hours outperform everyone around them. They don't chase everything. They choose. And once they choose, they lock in. Let me ask you, how often do you let your day control you? How often do you get pulled in 10 directions before noon? That mental chaos you feel, it's not random. It's the result of untrained focus. It's the result of reacting to life instead of designing it. You wake up, check your phone, get bombarded with everyone else's opinions, emotions, and emergencies. And by the time you remember your own goals, you've already given away your energy. You can't afford that anymore. You have too much potential, too much to build, too much to become. So you have to reclaim your focus, and that starts with training it. Just like your body, your mind responds to what you feed it, how you challenge it, and how you rest it. You can't expect mental strength without mental discipline. Start with your mornings. Stop waking up and reaching for distraction. Build a morning that serves your focus. Move your body. Write down your top priorities. Set a clear intention for the day. Get centered before the world starts shouting. Because once you give your attention to the outside, it's almost impossible to bring it back inside. Mornings are sacred. Protect them like your life depends on it. Because your future does. Next, cut out the noise. Every notification you allow is a thief of your focus. Every unnecessary task you take on is a leak in your energy. Every person who doesn't respect your time is a threat to your mission. You need to build a life around your priorities, not your distractions. That means creating environments that help you concentrate. That means scheduling deep work without interruption. That means being ruthless about what gets your time and why. If something doesn't align with your priorities, it doesn't belong in your life. Period. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every opportunity is meant for you. You have to stop trying to be available for everything and start becoming unavailable for anything that weakens your focus. Because where your attention goes, your life follows. There's a reason people who win are obsessed with routines. It's not boring, it's freedom. When you structure your day, you free your mind. You reduce decision fatigue. You stay in flow. You focus longer. You create better. And the longer you stay focused, the more unstoppable you become. It's not about working harder. It's about locking in harder. That's where the breakthroughs happen. And don't wait for motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Focus is a skill. Motivation fades. Focus compounds. The more you practice it, the easier it gets to stay centered even when distractions scream for your attention. You become less reactive, less impulsive, more intentional, more in control. That's when you go from chasing results to owning them. And here's the part no one tells you. Focus is freedom. When your mind is clear, your soul feels lighter. When you know what matters, you stop stressing about what doesn't. When you commit to your priorities, you stop feeling pulled in 1,000 directions. That's the internal peace people are starving for, but looking in the wrong places. That peace doesn't come from more entertainment, more consumption, more stimulation. It comes from discipline, from boundaries, from training your mind to stay with what matters and let go of the rest. It comes from being intentional with your time, your space, your thoughts, your energy. That's how you rise out of the fog. That's how you stop feeling like your life is slipping through your fingers. That's how you wake up proud instead of frustrated. So stop multitasking. Stop doing things halfway. Stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. Start doing one thing like it's the only thing. Start respecting your time like it's your greatest resource. Start building your focus like it's your legacy, because it is. What you build with focus will outlast anything you chase with distraction. And when your focus gets tested, and it will, don't give in, don't escape, don't look for quick fixes, lean into the resistance. That discomfort you feel when you try to concentrate, that's your mind learning how to stay. That's your power building. That's you becoming different from the rest. And every time you push through, you level up. You prove to yourself that you are not controlled by noise. You control your direction. You can either master your mind, or your mind will master you. You can either protect your priorities, or they will get buried under things that don't matter. You can either live with focus, or regret. The choice is always yours, every minute, every hour, every day. But choose wisely, because the life you want will never be built with scattered energy. It will only come to the version of you who learns how to stay locked in, focused, driven, relentless. That version of you already exists. You just have to train it into being. So here's your challenge. Choose your top 3 priorities. Write them down, make them real. Build your day around them. Remove anything that pulls you away. Set boundaries like your future depends on them, because it does. Then practice, daily, hourly, moment by moment. Practice holding your attention. Practice protecting your energy. Practice returning to the task every time your mind wanders. That's the path. That's the skill. That's the edge. Focus is your superpower in a world addicted to distraction. And if you train it, strengthen it, and guard it, you will separate yourself from the masses. You will rise. You will build. You will win. Now go train your focus and stay locked on your priorities. Not tomorrow. Not when it's easy. Now. Chapter 6. Take full responsibility for everything in your life. You will never change your life until you admit every single result in your life is your responsibility. Not just the ones that feel fair. Not just the things you're proud of. All of it. The chaos. The disappointment. The setbacks. The mistakes. Even the pain. As long as you blame anything outside of yourself, your past, your parents, your circumstances, your boss, your ex, you give away your power to grow, and until you stop giving that power away, you'll stay stuck exactly where you are. Here's the truth most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. Your life is a reflection of your standards, your habits, and your decisions. That's it. Not your excuses, not your feelings, not your dreams. What you allow is what continues. What you avoid is what controls you. What you tolerate becomes your normal. And if you don't like your normal, you have to own the part of you that created it. That's where change begins. Responsibility is not blame. It's ownership. It's looking at your life and saying, I did this. Maybe not all of it, but enough of it that I can change it. Because if you don't own your role in the struggle, you'll never own your ability to rise out of it. And that's what this is about. Not feeling sorry for yourself, not feeling like a victim, but becoming someone who refuses to hand over control of their life to anything or anyone ever again. When you take full responsibility, something inside you changes. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You stop expecting someone to come fix things for you. You stop being at the mercy of your environment. And you start doing something radical. You start rebuilding yourself, day by day, thought by thought, choice by choice. It's not easy, but it's the only path to real power. Because the second you say, this is my life, and I will own every part of it, you unlock a different level of strength. Most people spend their entire life avoiding this moment. They spend years crafting stories to explain why they haven't become who they could be. They point fingers. They rehearse their trauma. They defend their inaction with justifications that feel valid. But none of those stories will build the future they want. None of those stories will bring peace. Only responsibility will. You want peace? Take ownership. You want power? Take ownership. You want change? Take ownership. That's the key. That's the mindset that separates the dreamers from the doers. That's the difference between people who rise from pain and people who stay defined by it. And I'm not saying this to be harsh. I'm saying this because I believe in your ability to rise. I'm saying this because no one else is going to save you. No one else can do your push-ups for you. No one else can build your habits, repair your mindset, fix your attitude, or create your future. That work belongs to you. And if you don't do it, it won't get done. Look at your life right now. Where are you settling? Where are you blaming? Where are you avoiding truth? Because it's uncomfortable to face. Be honest, not to shame yourself, but to free yourself. Because the truth might hurt for a second, but denial will destroy you for years. And if you've been carrying the weight of your past, it's time to put it down. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. Your future matters more. And you cannot carry both. You were not born to live small, angry, bitter, or reactive. You were not created to stay buried under guilt, shame, or self-pity. You were built to take full command of your life and rewrite your story, regardless of where you started. That means owning your failures. That means owning your patterns. That means owning your attitude in the face of pain. And when you do that, something powerful happens. You stop waiting to feel ready, and you start taking action even when it's hard. That's what responsibility looks like. Not perfection, but ownership. It's waking up and saying, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm going to do something about it. It's recognizing that every moment you choose growth, you get stronger. Every time you stop blaming, you gain freedom. Every time you own your mess, you learn how to clean it up. And little by little, you stop being defined by your past and start being defined by your future. But here's the part most people run from. Responsibility is lonely at first, because the moment you stop blaming others, you stop relating to most people. You stop gossiping. You stop whining. You stop playing victim. And suddenly the conversations around you feel hollow. But don't go back. Don't lower your standard to fit into the comfort of dysfunction. Keep rising. Keep owning. Keep becoming. This path will demand everything from you, but it will also give you everything. It will give you clarity. It will give you direction. It will give you power. And most importantly, It will give you the one thing nobody can take away from you: self-respect. Because nothing feels better than looking in the mirror and knowing you faced life head-on. You didn't run, you didn't hide, you didn't make excuses. You showed up, you took charge. You became the person your younger self needed. And if you've been waiting for someone to apologize to you, stop. If you've been waiting for closure, let it go. If you've been waiting for someone to understand your pain before you start healing, that moment may never come. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need validation to begin. You don't need anyone to make things right in order for you to make yourself right. You only need one decision: the decision to take full responsibility for how you think, for how you speak, for how you show up, for how you respond when life punches you in the gut. That's the edge. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. Not intelligence, not luck, not background, but the refusal to give away your power. And it won't be perfect. You'll mess up, you'll fall, you'll regress. But every time you do, you'll get stronger. Not because you avoided failure, but because you owned it. That's the secret nobody tells you. Owning your life doesn't make it easier. It makes you stronger. It gives you the capacity to face more, endure more, handle more, and eventually to build more. So if your life feels messy right now, good. That means it's real. That means you have a chance to shape it. But don't run from the mess. Don't numb it. Don't distract yourself. Walk straight into it with your head up. Clean it up piece by piece. One decision at a time. One step at a time. That's how you get your power back. That's how you build momentum. That's how you take the broken pieces of your past and use them to build a stronger foundation. Because nothing is more powerful than a human being who takes responsibility for everything and uses it to grow. That kind of person is unstoppable. That kind of person doesn't need perfect circumstances, they create them. That kind of person doesn't need things to be fair, they become strong enough to win anyway. That person can be you. So here's your challenge: stop waiting for someone else to change. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop blaming, complaining, excusing, escaping. Take inventory of your life. What's working? What's not? Own all of it. No filter, no denial, just truth. Then ask yourself, what can I do today to take one step toward a better life? Then do it. No matter how small, do it consistently. Do it with discipline. Do it even when you don't feel like it. That's how you earn your self-respect back. That's how you build trust with yourself. That's how you transform. This world needs more people who refuse to blame and who instead rise. Be that person. Own your story. Own your time. Own your choices. Own your life. Because the life you want is already possible. It's waiting for you on the other side of responsibility. Go take it. Chapter 7. Break negative patterns and build better daily habits. If you don't break the cycle will break you. There's a moment in your life where you finally look around and realize this isn't working. Not the way you start your day. Not the way you speak to yourself. Not the things you tell yourself you'll do tomorrow, only to fall into the same hole today. It's a loop, a mental prison. And if you don't break it, you'll keep living the same year over and over again and calling it a life. Most people never leave that loop. But you don't have to be most people. The real reason you feel stuck isn't because you're lazy or unmotivated. It's because you've trained your mind to follow patterns that destroy your momentum, habits that pull you backward instead of pushing you forward. Every morning you hit snooze, you're training your brain to delay life. Every time you scroll to avoid discomfort, You're teaching yourself to escape instead of face. And every night you promise you'll change, only to repeat the same routine the next day. You're reinforcing a script that's slowly killing your potential. But here's the power they never taught you. Patterns are learned, which means they can be unlearned. You are not your bad habits. You are not the thoughts you keep recycling. You are not the behaviors you picked up in survival mode. You are something far more powerful. You are the one who chooses what stays and what goes. The one who decides which voice gets louder. The one who writes the script for the next chapter. It doesn't matter how long you've lived with self-doubt, procrastination, overthinking, or unhealthy routines. Today can be the beginning of your rewiring, the beginning of a different kind of identity. But change doesn't come from just reading books, listening to podcasts, or waiting for motivation to show up. Change comes from doing what's hard when it's inconvenient. It comes from choosing discipline when chaos feels easier. It comes from consistently doing the opposite of what's kept you stuck. Think about this. Your entire life is the sum total of your habits. Your energy, your mindset, your health, your income, your relationships. They're all just reflections of the things you do repeatedly. And if you want a better life, you don't need to completely overhaul everything overnight. You just need to break one bad pattern and replace it with one better choice. Then do it again and again until your identity shifts. Because at the root of every habit is a belief. If you believe you're not disciplined, you'll act like it. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll self-sabotage every time something good comes your way. If you believe you always fail, your mind will find a way to prove that belief right. So before you try to change your habits, you need to confront the lies that built them. Who told you that you were destined to stay stuck? Who convinced you that you were too far gone to rebuild? Challenge that voice. Burn that story. Replace it with truth. Because what you believe becomes what you build. Most people don't change because they're waiting for a perfect moment. But transformation isn't about moments. It's about movement. Tiny, uncomfortable, boring, daily movement. It's about waking up 30 minutes earlier, even when you're tired. It's about walking past the junk food, even when your brain craves dopamine. It's about writing the plan, following through, and doing it again the next day. Change feels unglamorous at first, but it's those unglamorous choices that turn into breakthroughs. And yes, it will be hard. You will be tempted to slip back into your comfort zone. You'll want to justify old patterns because they feel familiar. But familiar doesn't mean right. Familiar doesn't mean healthy. Familiar doesn't mean worthy of your future. You've got to be honest with yourself. You've got to admit that some of the things you've been doing are keeping you small, tired, distracted, and reactive. And no matter how normal they feel, they're not serving the life you say you want. This is where self-respect is built. Not when things are easy, but when you're staring your destructive patterns in the face and choosing differently. You earn confidence by keeping your promises. You build momentum by staying consistent even when nobody sees it. You sharpen your mind by refusing to negotiate with your weaknesses. You become stronger, not by avoiding difficulty, but by embracing it until it becomes your new baseline. What if instead of saying, "This is just who I am," you said, "This is who I used to be"? What if every time that old habit called your name, you paused and asked, "Does this help me become who I'm trying to be?" Because you can't keep choosing convenience and expect a life of excellence. You can't keep feeding your distractions and expect discipline to show up. You can't keep running from the hard work of rebuilding and expect to feel proud of yourself at the end of the day. Let's get real. If you want to feel better, think clearer, grow stronger, live freer. You need to break the patterns that are holding you down. And that starts by facing your day with intentional action. Not autopilot, not survival mode, but with awareness. Ask yourself, what habit am I allowing right now that's destroying my confidence? What do I keep repeating that leaves me feeling stuck? And what new behavior, even if it's small, can I install today that brings me 1 inch closer to the life I want? Don't overcomplicate it. Just start. Start by getting up without hitting snooze. Start by drinking water before caffeine. Start by turning your phone off for an hour in the morning. Start by writing down your goals and reading them every day. Start by scheduling your tasks and sticking to them. Start by saying no to what drains you. These are not small acts. These are the foundation of self-mastery, and no one's going to build them for you. You have to want it enough to do what others avoid. Your future isn't something you stumble into. It's something you create, step by step, with discipline that compounds. It's built in silence. It's forged in your choices when no one's watching. And it's fueled by the belief that you are worthy of more than your old habits have been giving you. You're not broken. You're just operating from a system that needs updating. And that update happens through action. You're not going to feel like changing every day. That's not how humans are wired. But you don't have to feel ready to begin. You have to decide. Decide that your future is worth fighting for. Decide that your habits will no longer reflect your past but your potential. Decide that you will rise every time you fall. That your identity is not fixed. That your circumstances don't define you. That your new normal starts now. And if you ever feel overwhelmed by the process, remember this: just win the next hour. That's it. Win the next hour with one better habit, one better choice, one break in the pattern. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to prove to yourself that change is possible. And once you get a taste of that power, you won't go back. You'll crave growth. You'll crave challenge. You'll crave the version of you who doesn't just wish for more, but works for it. You were never meant to live stuck in loops of defeat. You were meant to rise, to evolve, to sharpen, to dominate your space, your mind, your time. But none of that happens without breaking what's been breaking you. So stop arguing for your limitations. Stop defending what drains you. Stop hiding behind one day. And start with one decision. This is your moment to reset the pattern, to step away from the comfort of repetition and into the discomfort of growth. And yeah, it will be messy. You'll slip. You'll question yourself. You'll want to quit. But you won't. Because now you know the truth. Your patterns are not your destiny unless you choose to keep repeating them. So decide right now. Choose a better identity, a stronger path, a higher standard. You are one consistent habit away from becoming unrecognizable to the old version of you. One day at a time, one pattern at a time, one small victory at a time. That's how the cycle ends and the real you begins. Now go prove to yourself that you can build a life your future self will thank you for. The work starts today. Chapter 8. Face your fears and act with quiet courage. Fear doesn't go away, you just get stronger than it. There's a voice inside you that keeps asking, what if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I'm not enough? And maybe you've listened to it for so long that it feels like truth. Maybe you've convinced yourself that hesitation is wisdom, that delay is preparation, that hiding is safety. But deep down, you know the truth. Fear isn't protecting you, it's paralyzing you. It's keeping you in the shadows. It's silencing your potential before the world even gets to see it. And the longer you wait for it to vanish, the more of your life you surrender to it. You don't need to feel brave to take the first step. You don't need to be fearless to start. What you need is quiet courage. The kind no one sees but everyone eventually respects. The courage to walk into rooms where you don't feel ready. The courage to speak when your voice shakes. The courage to try when failure feels guaranteed. Not the loud, showy kind of courage, but the silent strength of someone who acts anyway. That's the kind of courage that changes lives. That's the kind of courage that rewrites stories. You have no idea how powerful you become when you stop waiting for perfect conditions and start moving with imperfect confidence. Because action in the face of fear rewires your brain. It tells your nervous system we're not victims anymore. It tells your past you don't define me. It tells your excuses I'm not listening today. And the moment you choose courage over comfort, your life begins to expand. Doors open, opportunities show up. People notice, and most importantly, you notice. You start seeing yourself differently. You start respecting yourself in a way that fear never allowed. Fear is persuasive. It will dress itself up as logic. It'll convince you that the timing isn't right, that more preparation is needed, that maybe this dream just isn't for you. It'll wrap itself in comfort and wrap you in chains. And if you let it speak for too long, it'll make you a spectator in your own life. But here's the thing about fear. It's loudest right before a breakthrough. It screams when you're getting close to something meaningful. And if you can learn to hear fear and act anyway, you'll unlock levels of strength you didn't know you had. You don't overcome fear by thinking about it. You overcome it by doing the thing you're afraid of. By proving to yourself that the worst-case scenario in your mind isn't reality. Most of the time, the fear is just a lie you've rehearsed too many times. A distorted memory. A protective mechanism that's outlived its usefulness. And it's time to break the cycle, because the longer you obey fear, the stronger it gets. But the moment you disobey it, even just once, you weaken its grip. And that single act of defiance becomes the foundation of a new identity. You've already survived everything life has thrown at you. Every heartbreak, every loss, every setback, you're still here. That means there's strength in you that you've forgotten about. Power that's been buried under fear. It's time to dig it out. It's time to remember that you were built for more than survival. You were built for impact. But you can't make an impact from the sidelines. You can't change your life by playing small. You've got to walk straight into the discomfort and let it refine you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing it while afraid. It's the whisper that says, I'm not backing down today. It's the decision to show up even if you shake, stumble or fail. Because failure is not the enemy. Stagnation is playing it safe might feel smart in the short term, but in the long term, it's a slow death of your dreams. Fear wants you to wait for certainty. Courage says, start anyway. Fear says you're not ready. Courage replies, I'll grow on the way. That shift in mindset is everything. You won't always feel supported. You won't always feel understood. But you must learn to validate yourself, to clap for yourself when nobody's watching, to take the shot even when no one believes in it. But you, because that's what champions do. They build in silence. They train in private. They struggle behind closed doors. And then when the moment comes, the world sees what quiet courage has created. If you knew how short life really was, you wouldn't hesitate. You wouldn't delay that conversation, that application, that leap of faith. You wouldn't let fear sit in the driver's seat for one more day. You'd act. You'd take the risk. You'd do the thing. And here's the truth. You don't need anyone's permission to be brave. You just need a reason. And if your future isn't reason enough, then what is? You're going to feel resistance. You're going to hear that voice that says, what if this doesn't work? But start asking a better question. What if it does? What if the life you've always dreamed of is on the other side of that one decision you've been avoiding? What if your next level of success, peace, freedom, love, joy, is just waiting for you to act with quiet courage? What if your breakthrough isn't a moment you find, but a moment you create by doing the uncomfortable thing? You're stronger than you think. You've got what it takes. But strength doesn't show up when life is easy. It shows up when fear is screaming, and you take the step anyway. That's where you meet the real you, not the version people expect. Not the one who plays it safe, but the one who chooses truth over fear, growth over comfort, purpose over popularity. You don't have to change everything today. Just take one courageous action. One call, one commitment, one decision that says, I refuse to be ruled by fear, and tomorrow do it again. Because courage, just like fear, is built through repetition. Every time you act in the face of fear, you shift the power dynamic. You become the authority in your life again. You stop asking fear for permission and start leading with purpose. People talk about living their dreams, but most of them never face the fears standing between them and that dream. That's why it's rare. That's why it's respected, because it takes guts to step forward when nothing is guaranteed. It takes strength to believe in yourself when the odds don't. It takes vision to keep walking when the path is unclear. But the people who change their lives and the world are the ones who do it anyway. You might not see the results immediately. Courage doesn't always pay off in applause. Sometimes it pays off in silence, in self-respect, in the kind of peace you can only earn by knowing you didn't let fear win. And that feeling is priceless, because when you sleep at night, knowing you gave your all, there's a calm that replaces the anxiety. There's a pride that replaces the doubt. There's a freedom that replaces the fear. This is your moment, not because everything is perfect, but because you're tired of waiting, tired of shrinking, tired of letting fear take things from you that were meant to be yours. It's time to reclaim your courage. Time to take action without needing approval. Time to believe in your power even when fear whispers otherwise. The world needs your boldness, your truth, your action. Don't rob the world of what only you can bring to it. Start now. Pick the one thing you've been avoiding and move toward it. Not with noise, not with bravado, but with quiet courage, with inner strength, with a fire that says, I'm no longer available for fear-based living. Make the move, have the talk, write the page, post the content, apply for the job, launch the idea, face the fear, take the step, and when fear shows up again tomorrow, and it will look it in the eyes and remind it who you are not here to survive. You are here to build, to lead, to grow, to rise. Quiet courage is your superpower. It's what makes you unstoppable. And once you taste the freedom on the other side of fear, you'll never want to live small again. This is the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where fear no longer makes your decisions. A chapter where your actions align with your highest vision. A chapter written not with hesitation, but with bold steps and quiet strength. And if you stay committed to this path, if you keep choosing courage in the small moments, you won't recognize the person you become. You'll be stronger, freer, unshakable. So don't wait for fear to disappear. Act while it's still there. That's how you win. That's how you grow. That's how you take your power back and live the life you were always meant to live. Now go. Be bold. Be brave. Be unstoppable. Let the world see what quiet courage can build. Chapter 9. Control your emotions and stay calm under pressure. Some people lose everything, not because they weren't smart, but because they couldn't stay calm when it mattered most. Pressure doesn't destroy people. Their inability to control their emotions under pressure does. And if you can't control what you feel, then you'll never control what you do. That's the painful truth. You could have all the talent in the world, all the knowledge, all the preparation, but the moment your emotions own you, everything else disappears. Discipline becomes dust. Logic vanishes, and you're left reacting like someone who's forgotten who they are. If you've ever said something in anger you couldn't take back, if you've ever made a choice in panic that led to regret, then you already know what happens when emotions run wild. You lose your grip. You surrender your power, and you trade long-term peace for short-term relief. That's not who you want to be. That's not how you win in life. Because strength isn't measured by how loud you yell or how fast you act. It's measured by how calm you stay when everything around you is breaking down. You want to know who wins in life. The ones who can stand in the middle of chaos and not flinch. The ones who don't let fear speed them up or anger shut them down. The ones who can breathe through tension and see through noise. That kind of emotional control isn't flashy, but it's rare. And it's powerful. When you learn to control your emotions, you become someone no one can shake. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop exploding. You start thinking. And that shift changes everything. Most people never master this. They live in a constant loop of reaction. Something upsets them, and they lash out. Something scares them, and they retreat. Something stresses them out, and they collapse. And because they never take control of their inner state, life just keeps knocking them around. But you're here because you want more. You want to break the cycle. You want to live with power, not panic. It starts by understanding that emotions are signals, not commands. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to obey it. Anger doesn't mean attack. Fear doesn't mean flee. Stress doesn't mean collapse. When pressure rises, your job isn't to fight your emotions. Your job is to notice them, name them, and then decide who's in control, you or them. And let's be clear, this isn't about suppressing what you feel. Suppression is weakness pretending to be strength. Real strength is acknowledgement without surrender. It's noticing the heat rising in your chest and choosing not to let it burn everything down. It's feeling the fear crawl up your spine and deciding to stand firm anyway. That's what separates leaders from followers. That's what separates the strong from the scattered. Look back at your life. How many times did you make a decision you later regretted just because you couldn't stay calm in the moment? How many relationships were damaged? How many opportunities lost? How much peace stolen? Because your emotions ran the show. You can't afford that anymore. Not if you want to grow. Not if you want to lead. Not if you want to win. Every pressure moment is an opportunity. An opportunity to become better. An opportunity to demonstrate discipline. An opportunity to build the kind of inner strength that no one can take from you. Because here's the truth. Calm is a skill. It's not a personality trait. It's something you train just like a muscle. And the more you train it, the stronger it gets. Start by mastering your breath. When pressure hits, your breath is the first thing that changes. You tighten up. You get shallow. You rush. That's your first cue. Breathe deep. Breathe slow. Bring your nervous system back under control. Your breath is the bridge between chaos and clarity. Use it. Next, learn to pause. That tiny space between stimulus and response. That's where your power lives. Don't say the first thing that comes to mind. Don't act on the first impulse. Pause. Ask yourself, what does this moment really require? Who do I want to be right now? What outcome do I actually want? That pause, even if it's just 2 seconds, can save you years of regret. You also need to remove your ego. Most emotional reactions come from a wounded ego trying to protect itself. Someone insults you. Your pride wants revenge. You feel disrespected. Your ego wants to make them pay. But if you let your ego drive, you crash every time. Let it go. Choose purpose over pride. Choose growth over getting even. And don't forget, every emotional outburst is expensive. It costs you time, energy, relationships, and respect. So ask yourself, is this feeling worth the cost? Is this reaction going to take me closer to who I want to be, or drag me further from it? That self-awareness will save you more than any apology ever could. The most dangerous enemy isn't outside, it's your own emotions when you're not in control. That's why mastering this skill is non-negotiable. Because life is going to test you. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Unexpected problems will show up at your door without knocking. And if you can't stay centered in those moments, then your entire life becomes a roller coaster you didn't sign up for. But imagine the freedom of being unshakable. Imagine walking into the same stressful situations but now feeling calm and focused. Imagine people trying to provoke you, and you just smile because you know they no longer control your buttons. Imagine making decisions with clarity, handling setbacks with grace, and solving problems with a steady hand. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when you choose emotional mastery over emotional chaos. No one is born calm. Everyone feels anger. Everyone gets scared. Everyone feels pressure, but only a few ever learn how to hold the line, to stay grounded, to rise above. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to stay in control long enough to make a better choice. That's it. And with each better choice, you build confidence. With each calm response, you build strength. And one day you wake up and realize, you've become the kind of person you used to admire. The world needs more of that. It doesn't need more reactors. It needs more leaders. It needs people who stay composed when others crumble. It needs you at your best, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. That's the real test. That's the real proving ground. Who are you under pressure? Who are you when things fall apart? You want to become someone who doesn't panic under stress, who doesn't break under criticism, who doesn't snap under provocation. That version of you is possible. And it begins with a decision. I will no longer let my emotions make decisions for me. From now on, I lead with awareness. I lead with clarity. I lead with calm. You'll still feel emotions, that's not weakness, that's humanity. But you'll feel them differently. You'll see them as signals, as data, not as dictators. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Until one day, staying calm isn't something you try to do, it's just who you are. People will start to notice. They'll wonder how you stay composed when others explode. They'll ask how you stay focused when everyone else is falling apart. And you'll know it wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was the result of daily work, of choosing calm over chaos, of choosing control over reaction, and most of all of choosing who you want to be, moment by moment, day after day. This is the power that few develop, but it's available to anyone willing to do the work. You don't need to change the world all at once. Just start with the next moment of pressure, the next spike of emotion, the next test. That's your practice ground. That's where you grow. And every time you pass the test, you gain something the world can't take from you. Emotional strength, unshakable confidence, and inner peace. So the next time you feel that rush, The anger, the stress, the fear. Pause. Breathe. Remember who you're becoming. And act like it. Let them talk. Let the situation escalate. Let the pressure build. But you, stay calm, stay clear, stay in control, because the storm doesn't shake the mountain. And when you master your emotions, you become the mountain. Now go. Apply this, train this, live this, and let the world feel the power of your calm. Chapter 10. Build discipline by doing what feels uncomfortable. The moment you choose comfort over growth is the moment your dreams start to wither. Discipline isn't born from ease, it's forged in discomfort. Every breakthrough in life, every transformation worth having, begins with stepping into the unknown, the difficult, the uncomfortable. This truth is simple but brutal. If you want to build the kind of discipline that lasts, you must become comfortable being uncomfortable, because growth demands it. Success demands it. Your future demands it. Think about the last time you wanted something meaningful. Maybe it was a fitness goal, a career breakthrough, or finally building the life you know you deserve. Now ask yourself, did the path to that goal feel easy? Did it feel smooth? Most likely, no. It felt hard. It felt exhausting. It felt like you were constantly fighting a part of yourself that wanted to quit, to rest, to take the easy way out. That fight inside you, between comfort and discomfort, is the defining battle for your discipline. If you surrender to comfort, you surrender to mediocrity. If you push through discomfort, you build strength that can't be taken away. The muscle of discipline grows when you keep showing up to what drains you, what scares you, what challenges you, not when you avoid it. Comfort is a trap dressed like a friend. It whispers sweet lies. Rest now. You deserve a break. You'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year, and those dreams fade further out of reach. Discomfort, on the other hand, is a tough teacher. It demands your full attention. It makes you uncomfortable in the moment. But in that very discomfort lies your transformation. I want you to imagine yourself a year from now. What would your life look like if, every single day, you committed to doing at least one thing that felt uncomfortable? Just one thing outside your easy zone. Maybe it's waking up early when your bed feels like a magnet. Maybe it's saying no to distractions that drain your focus. Maybe it's pushing yourself to face a fear, to have a tough conversation, or to try something you feel unprepared for. Now imagine the power you'd build after a year of consistently choosing discomfort over ease. That power is what discipline feels like. It's a quiet confidence that you can rely on yourself, even when things get hard. It's the ability to keep moving forward when everyone else stops. It's the knowledge that no matter what life throws at you, you've already proven you can handle more. Discomfort isn't just physical. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's the burning in your muscles when you push harder. It's the anxiety that creeps up when you face rejection or failure. It's the doubt that whispers you're not good enough. Those feelings are signs you're growing, not failing. They're the markers of progress. When you feel discomfort, don't turn away, lean in. Study it. Learn from it. Use it as fuel. I've seen so many people quit just before their breakthrough because they mistook discomfort for defeat. They thought the pain meant they were on the wrong path. But pain is a sign you're breaking old limits. It's your mind and body remodeling to support the new you. The pain is temporary. The results are permanent. This is why discipline is so rare, because it requires repeated confrontation with discomfort. You must be willing to sit with the tension of uncertainty. You must be willing to feel the awkwardness of starting over. You must be willing to do the boring, repetitive work that no one else wants to do. And that's where true discipline grows, in the small, uncomfortable moments you choose to endure when no one is watching. It's also why motivation alone is never enough. Motivation is like a spark. It can light the fire, but it won't keep it burning. Discipline is the steady flame that stays lit when motivation dies down. And that flame burns strongest when fed by consistent actions taken despite discomfort. When you build this habit, you become unstoppable. Ask yourself, what uncomfortable truth have you been avoiding? What challenge have you pushed aside because it feels too hard? Whatever it is, that's your discipline workout waiting. Facing it will stretch you in ways you didn't think possible. And every time you do, you rewrite your story. You tell yourself, I am stronger than my fear. I am tougher than my excuses. Your brain craves comfort because it's wired to avoid pain. That's survival instinct. But your life isn't about mere survival. It's about thriving. To thrive, you must rewire your response to discomfort. You must see it as a signal that you're growing, not failing. You must choose to feel the resistance and push through it anyway. That is discipline. It's important to remember that doing uncomfortable things doesn't mean reckless suffering. It means intentional challenge. It means choosing discomfort with a purpose. If you wake up every day and intentionally push yourself just a little outside your comfort zone, you are planting seeds of discipline that will grow into strength, resilience, and unshakable willpower. Discomfort is a gift, wrapped in struggle. It's the raw material for your transformation. Each time you embrace it, you become more resilient, more confident, and more capable. You prove to yourself that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the architect of your future. Look around and notice who stands out. Who wins consistently. It's not the person who plays it safe. It's not the one who only acts when they feel ready. It's the person who steps forward when others step back. The person who chooses the hard path because they know it leads to greatness. That person is you, once you decide discomfort is no longer your enemy, but your ally. Your comfort zone is a beautiful prison. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. To build discipline, you must break those walls down brick by brick. Start small if you need to. Maybe it's a cold shower, a difficult conversation, a hard workout, or a commitment to a new habit. The size doesn't matter. What matters is that you choose discomfort every day and refuse to retreat. Every time you say no to the voice that wants to stay safe, you're strengthening your discipline muscle. It's like going to the gym. Each repetition builds strength. Each moment you push past discomfort, you're training yourself to handle even bigger challenges. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes your new normal. Imagine the person you want to be. Imagine how they handle stress, setbacks, and challenges. They don't fold under pressure. They rise. They don't quit when things get hard. They fight harder. And that strength, it was built one uncomfortable choice at a time. It's not magic. It's daily commitment to doing what feels hard. If you want to be that person, your growth won't happen by waiting for things to get easier. It will happen by leaning into the discomfort and making it your habit. By showing up for yourself when it's tough, not when it's convenient. That is how you create lasting discipline. There will be days when the discomfort feels unbearable, when your mind screams for relief, when quitting seems like the only option. Those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that separate the winners from the quitters. If you push through, even when you don't feel like it, you build a mental toughness that no external challenge can break. It's okay to feel fear and hesitation. It's natural. But fear is not a stop sign. It's a guidepost pointing to what matters most. The uncomfortable path often leads straight to your greatest potential. The secret is not to avoid discomfort, but to face it with courage and consistency. Discipline built on discomfort gives you freedom. Freedom from being controlled by mood, impulse, or fleeting motivation. Freedom from the cycle of starting and stopping. Freedom from regret. When you make discomfort your daily companion, you become the master of your life, not a slave to your circumstances. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. The truth is, you'll never feel completely ready. The only way forward is to take the next uncomfortable step right now, right where you are. That step may shake you. It may test you, but it will never betray you. Discipline is not a destination. It's a lifelong journey, and every uncomfortable choice is a milestone on that journey. Each one is a victory, a lesson, a building block of your new self. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving forward, even when it's uncomfortable. Remember, your comfort zone is a cage. Break free by choosing discomfort as your guide. Build your discipline by welcoming the struggle. Transform your life by doing what feels hard. The path to greatness is paved with discomfort, and every step you take builds a stronger, more unstoppable you. Now take a deep breath. Feel the resistance inside you. Then do it anyway, because every moment you push through discomfort is a moment you prove to yourself that you are greater than your excuses. You are stronger than your fears. You are disciplined, and your future is waiting on the other side of discomfort. Start now. Embrace discomfort. Build discipline. Change your life. Chapter 11. Choose consistency over motivation every single time. Motivation is a fire that burns bright but fades fast. Consistency is the quiet engine that drives success day after day, even when the fire dies down. The truth most people never fully grasp is that relying on motivation is like trying to sail a ship with only the wind when the wind is unpredictable and often absent. Motivation comes and goes, crashing over you in waves of enthusiasm and then disappearing into calm seas of doubt, fatigue, and distraction. If you want to build anything meaningful, strength, skill, wealth, or character, you cannot depend on feeling motivated every single day. Instead, you must build a relentless consistency that keeps you moving forward, no matter how you feel inside. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding that from now on, you won't wait for motivation. You won't let your mood dictate your actions. You simply show up, put in the work, and trust that the compound effect of small, steady efforts will create a tidal wave of progress. That choice alone separates the dreamers from the achievers. Motivation feels good, but it is fragile. It can evaporate when life gets hard or when distractions pull at your focus. Consistency, on the other hand, doesn't care about feelings. It's a habit, a discipline, a commitment that doesn't bend to your emotional state. When you choose consistency, you're saying to yourself, I don't need to feel ready. I will take action even when I don't want to. This is not just theory. Every successful person you admire has built their legacy on this principle. They didn't wait to feel inspired every day. They showed up. They did the work day after day. They understood that greatness is less about bursts of motivation and more about steady, patient, relentless consistency. There's a powerful psychological reason why consistency beats motivation every time your brain thrives on routine. When you repeat an action day after day, it becomes automatic. Your mind stops debating and resisting. You create a habit. Habits don't require motivation to keep going. They run quietly in the background, propelling you forward even on your worst days. But consistency is not always easy. It often feels boring, repetitive, and unglamorous. It requires patience to keep pushing when the results aren't immediate. This is where most people fail. They get excited, make a big push, then lose steam because the initial motivation fades. They give up right before the breakthrough because consistency is slower and less exciting than motivation's bursts. Think about the last time you tried to start something new, a workout routine, learning a new skill, or a project. At first it felt exciting. You were fired up, ready to conquer. But a few days or weeks later, the thrill wore off. You found excuses. You missed sessions. You told yourself you'd start fresh tomorrow. That's the trap of motivation. What if, instead, you made a deal with yourself? No matter what, you do something small every day toward your goal. It doesn't have to be perfect or intense. It just has to happen. This is the power of consistency. Even on days when motivation is zero, your habit carries you forward. When you choose consistency over motivation, you build trust with yourself. You prove you can rely on your own commitment. This trust is the foundation of confidence and self-respect. It's what separates people who talk about their dreams from those who actually achieve them. The key to mastering consistency is to remove friction and make your actions as simple and unavoidable as possible. Design your environment so that doing the right thing is easier than doing the wrong thing. If your goal is fitness, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If your goal is writing, set a timer for just 5 minutes. Starting small creates momentum that grows naturally. Another powerful tactic is to track your progress visually. Seeing a streak of days where you did the work, no matter how small, creates a psychological reward. It taps into your brain's need for accomplishment and encourages you to keep the chain unbroken. The desire not to break your streak can be more powerful than fleeting motivation. Consistency also trains your mind to overcome resistance. Resistance is the voice inside that says, "Not today, I'm too tired," or "I'll do it later." When you act consistently despite resistance, you rewire your brain. You weaken that voice until it loses its power over you. Soon resistance becomes background noise you no longer pay attention to. There is a deeper emotional benefit to consistency. It builds resilience. Life will throw challenges, distractions, and setbacks at you. Motivation will waver under pressure, but a consistent routine provides stability. It acts like an anchor during storms, keeping you steady and grounded. Over time, this resilience becomes a core part of your identity. The stories of those who succeed are filled with examples of daily commitment. They didn't rely on feeling inspired or waiting for the perfect moment. They took action day in and day out, even when it was difficult or dull. Their progress wasn't always visible, but it was happening under the surface. That's why consistency is the slow and steady force that eventually wins the race. It's also important to embrace imperfection in this journey. Consistency doesn't mean you never miss a day or never make mistakes. It means you don't quit because of mistakes. It means if you fall, you get back up. The true power of consistency lies in your ability to persist despite setbacks. When you make consistency your foundation, motivation becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Some days you'll feel pumped and energized. Those are gifts you welcome gratefully. Other days you simply do the work because you know it's what disciplined people do. That mindset shift creates an unshakable drive. Imagine the kind of person you become after months, even years of this steady commitment. You become someone who can be trusted, someone who finishes what they start, someone whose character shines through their habits. That is the ultimate reward of consistency. If you want to change your life, focus less on waiting to feel motivated and more on showing up consistently. Build small routines, track your progress, and honor your commitments to yourself. The biggest breakthroughs come from the daily, often unseen actions that compound over time. Don't let the lure of motivation fool you into thinking it's the key. It's just the starting spark. Consistency is the fuel that keeps your fire burning long after motivation fades. When you commit to consistency, you unlock a power that no external circumstance can take away. The journey isn't always glamorous, but it is reliable. It's a promise you make to yourself that you will keep going, no matter what. This promise will transform your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your entire life. You're not looking for quick bursts of energy. You're building a lifelong engine that can carry you through every challenge. You're building a legacy of discipline, resilience, and achievement. So today, decide to honor your word to yourself. Choose consistency over motivation every single time, because that choice will create the future you dream about, one steady step at a time. Keep going. Stay committed. The best version of you is waiting just beyond your daily actions. Make consistency your weapon and watch your life transform in ways you never imagined. Chapter 12. Surround yourself with driven and focused people. The people you surround yourself with shape the trajectory of your life more than you realize. Their energy, focus, and drive either pull you forward or hold you back. From the moment you wake up, your environment begins to influence your mindset and your choices. Your circle of influence, the people you spend time with, becomes the lens through which you view possibility and challenge. If you want to elevate your life, break free from old patterns, and achieve goals that seem just beyond reach, the company you keep matters more than any book, course, or pep talk ever could. Consider this: ambition and focus are contagious. When you spend time with driven, focused individuals, their dedication to growth ignites something inside you. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and progress as inevitable. Their energy doesn't just motivate you for a moment, it rewires your brain to believe that your goals are possible, that you belong in that realm of success. But the opposite is also true. If you surround yourself with complacency, negativity, or aimlessness, it becomes harder to escape that gravitational pull. Conversations become excuses, habits become distractions, and your dreams start to feel like distant fantasies. The people around you either fuel your hunger or feed your doubts. I want you to imagine the last time you felt truly inspired or motivated. Chances are, it wasn't just a random burst of energy. It came from being around someone who was on fire for their own goals. Maybe it was a friend, a mentor, or even a stranger who shared their story or work ethic. That moment of connection sparked a flame in you that you wished would last forever. Surrounding yourself with people like that on a daily basis is the secret most overlooked. There's a deep psychological truth behind this. Humans are wired to mirror. We unconsciously adopt the habits, speech patterns, attitudes, and energy of those closest to us. This is why your social circle has such a profound impact on your results. When your friends stay up late scrolling social media, it's easy to fall into the same pattern. When your peers commit to relentless self-improvement, it pushes you to step up your game. Surrounding yourself with driven and focused people is like stepping into a different frequency. You start to raise your standards without even trying. Your language changes, your goals become sharper, your excuses shrink. You become more aware of what's possible and less tolerant of distractions or procrastination. But building this circle requires courage and intentionality. It means making hard choices about who you invest your time and energy in. It might mean stepping away from comfortable relationships that no longer serve your growth. You have to get comfortable with discomfort. You must choose to be around those who challenge you, who hold you accountable, and who push you beyond your limits. One of the most powerful ways to find these people is to seek out communities that share your values and ambitions. Look for mastermind groups, professional organizations, or online forums where high performers gather. These spaces are incubators of growth, where focused individuals lift each other higher. When you surround yourself with people who demand excellence, you start to demand it from yourself. Another secret is to become one of those people yourself. When you commit to your own growth, you naturally attract others who are on the same path. Your energy changes, your mindset shifts. You become a magnet for driven individuals who want to support and challenge you. This is the power of growth cycles. The more you elevate yourself, the higher the quality of your relationships. This journey also teaches you to become selective with your time. You'll start to see time as your most precious resource, and you'll guard it fiercely. Conversations that waste your energy, environments that drain your focus, and relationships that pull you into complacency will feel less and less acceptable. You learn to say no to what doesn't serve your vision, and yes to what fuels your purpose. Surrounding yourself with the right people creates a ripple effect. Their habits influence you, your progress inspires others, and together you form a network of unstoppable momentum. It's not just about individual success, it's about collective elevation. When you raise your standards, you raise the standards for everyone around you, and that creates an upward spiral of achievement. Think about your current circle. Are they helping you become the person you want to be? Do their actions reflect the discipline, ambition, and resilience you need to cultivate? If the answer is no, then it's time for change. Change your environment, and you change your destiny. You may feel hesitant to distance yourself from people you've known for years. That's natural. But remember, personal growth is not a betrayal of relationships, it's an act of self-respect. True friends will understand and support your desire to grow. If they don't, that's a sign you need to widen your circle. When you surround yourself with focused, driven people, you enter a different arena. Your mindset shifts from scarcity to abundance, from fear to courage, from hesitation to action. You see what's possible because others around you are living proof that it's within reach. This doesn't mean you need to be around perfection or people who never struggle. In fact, the most powerful groups are those that embrace struggle and use it as fuel. They don't pretend to have it all figured out, they simply refuse to give up. They push through discomfort, learn from failures, and celebrate progress with unwavering determination. The truth is, your environment can either be your prison or your launch pad. When you choose to surround yourself with driven and focused people, you choose a launch pad. You surround yourself with energy that elevates, challenges, and inspires. You build a support system that lifts you higher, even on the days you want to quit. Every great achievement begins with the company you keep. The people around you shape your language, your beliefs, your habits, and your vision. They either pull you down into comfort and complacency, or push you up into growth and greatness. If you want to be the best version of yourself, start by being intentional about who you allow in your inner circle. Choose those who challenge your limits, hold you accountable, and inspire your highest self. Choose those who celebrate your wins and hold your hand through setbacks. Choose those who are as hungry for growth as you are. Your journey to success is not meant to be walked alone. When you find your tribe of driven, focused individuals, you create a force stronger than any one person. Together you break barriers, shatter ceilings, and redefine what's possible. Right now, ask yourself, who am I spending the most time with? Are they lifting me up or pulling me down? Am I surrounded by people who demand my best, or who tolerate my excuses? Your answers will reveal the path forward. The power to change your environment is in your hands. Seek out those who match your vision and refuse to settle for less. Invest in relationships that fuel your growth and discard those that drain your energy. Build a circle so strong that quitting is impossible. This is not just advice, it's a life-changing strategy. The moment you choose your company wisely, your mindset, habits, and results follow. You create unstoppable momentum that propels you toward your dreams every single day. So don't wait for a perfect time or the right people to come along. Start where you are. Reach out to those who inspire you. Join groups that challenge you. Elevate your environment and watch how your life transforms. You deserve to be surrounded by greatness because that's the person you are becoming. Choose your circle with intention, and your future will thank you for it. This is your moment to step into a new reality fueled by focus, drive, and unwavering support. Take that step today. Seek out those who lift you higher, challenge you harder, and believe in your potential relentlessly. Build a community that doesn't just accept your dreams but demands their fulfillment. When you do this, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone around you. The power of driven and focused people is a force multiplier. It accelerates growth, sharpens resilience, and turns aspirations into realities. You are the sum of the people you spend your time with. Choose wisely. Choose growth. Choose greatness. Your future depends on it. Chapter 13. Read daily and feed your mind with wisdom. If you want to transform your life, there is one habit more powerful than motivation, more enduring than talent: feeding your mind with wisdom every single day. Imagine waking up each morning and not just surviving, but thriving, because your mind is filled with the knowledge, insights, and truths that shape greatness. The books you read, the ideas you expose yourself to, the lessons you absorb, these are the invisible architects building the foundation of your success. What you allow into your mind determines how you think, what you believe, and ultimately what you become. Many people underestimate the power of reading daily. They scroll endlessly through social media, binge-watch shows, or listen to noise that distracts rather than nourishes. This is why so many feel stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected from their true potential. Their minds are cluttered with meaningless information that drains energy instead of empowering it. But those who commit to reading daily, who feed their minds with wisdom, unlock a wellspring of strength, clarity, and vision. Think about the stories of the most successful people in history. Nearly all of them were voracious readers. Warren Buffett famously spends 80% of his day reading. Oprah Winfrey's success is deeply tied to her love of books and learning. Bill Gates reads about 50 books a year. Why? Because reading is not just an escape. It's a way to absorb the distilled knowledge of generations, to stand on the shoulders of giants, and to think at a higher level than your daily experiences alone. Reading daily rewires your brain. It improves focus, memory, and critical thinking. It exposes you to new ideas that challenge your current beliefs and expand your perspective. When you read, you're entering a conversation with the greatest minds, past and present, and that fuels innovation and creativity in your own life. But feeding your mind is not about quantity, it's about quality and consistency. A single powerful book read with intent and reflection can change the trajectory of your life. It's not about rushing through pages, but about savoring ideas that resonate, provoke thought, and inspire action. Many struggle to find time to read, but the truth is that everyone can carve out moments in their day. It can be 15 minutes in the morning, before the chaos begins, or a quiet half-hour before bed. Even small daily doses of reading accumulate into massive long-term gains. It's a daily investment in yourself that compounds exponentially. The benefits go far beyond knowledge. Reading daily sharpens your emotional intelligence by allowing you to live vicariously through characters and real-life stories. It builds empathy, patience, and self-awareness. These qualities are critical to navigating life's challenges with grace and resilience. There's also a powerful psychological effect in the ritual of reading. It signals to your subconscious that you value growth and discipline. This simple act becomes a declaration of who you are and who you want to become. It rewires your identity from someone who drifts through life to someone who is intentional and empowered. Consider this: the mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, negativity, distractions, shallow entertainment, your growth is stunted. But when you plant seeds of wisdom, knowledge, and inspiration, your garden flourishes. It produces fruits of confidence, clarity, and purpose. But reading alone is not enough. To truly feed your mind, you must engage actively with what you read. Take notes, reflect, discuss ideas, and apply lessons to your life. Wisdom becomes power only when acted upon. This process turns passive reading into active transformation. You might wonder, what should I read? The answer is simple: anything that elevates your thinking, challenges your comfort zone, and aligns with your goals. It could be biographies of leaders who overcame adversity, books on psychology that help you master your emotions, philosophy that teaches timeless truths, or practical guides that build your skills. Avoid the trap of only reading what's comfortable or easy. Growth happens when you face ideas that unsettle your current worldview. When you read books that make you question, stretch, and rethink, you evolve faster than you ever thought possible. The journey of reading daily is also a journey of self-discovery. You learn what excites you, what drives you, and what you truly value. It reveals the hidden barriers in your mind, the fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs that hold you back, and offers ways to dismantle them. There will be days when you don't feel like reading, when your mind is tired or distracted. This is precisely when the habit matters most. Consistency beats motivation every time. Showing up for yourself in those moments builds ironclad discipline and reaffirms your commitment to growth. Reading daily is also a refuge, a sanctuary from the noise and chaos of modern life. It's a chance to slow down, focus, and reconnect with your deeper purpose. It reminds you why you started your journey and what you are capable of becoming. Over time, this habit creates a profound ripple effect. You become a source of wisdom and inspiration for others. Your conversations deepen, your decisions become wiser, your actions become more aligned with your highest self. The greatest investments you can make are those in your mind. Reading daily is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to do that. It's a lifelong habit that continues to pay dividends long after the book is closed. So today, make a promise to yourself: no matter how busy life gets, no matter how tired or distracted you feel, you will feed your mind with wisdom every single day. Choose the books that challenge you, inspire you, and transform you. Create a ritual that honors your commitment to growth. Your mind is the most valuable asset you have. Treat it like the treasure it is. Fill it with ideas that light your fire, expand your vision, and push you to become the person you were meant to be. This is not a casual suggestion. It is a call to action for those who want to live a life of meaning, impact, and fulfillment. Your future self is waiting for you to start this journey right now. Don't let your mind starve on distractions or shallow entertainment. Feed it with wisdom. Nourish it with knowledge. Watch how your life shifts from ordinary to extraordinary. You are capable of incredible things. The fuel for that greatness is already within your reach, in the pages of books waiting to be opened. Take that first step. Read daily. Transform your mind. Change your life. This habit will become your superpower, your secret weapon in the face of challenges and uncertainty. It will sharpen your vision and deepen your resilience. Commit to reading every day, and you commit to a lifetime of growth, wisdom, and unstoppable progress. The journey starts with a single page, but the destination is limitless. Now take a moment. Find a book that excites you. Open it. Read the first sentence. Let that sentence change your story forever. Chapter 14. Speak to yourself with strength and self-belief. Your inner voice is the battlefield where your future is won or lost. Speak to yourself with strength and unshakable belief, and nothing will stand in your way. The way you talk to yourself is the most important conversation you will ever have. It shapes your reality, molds your identity, and fuels your actions. Yet, most people are completely unaware of how cruel and damaging their self-talk can be. Negative, doubtful words echo in their minds, whispering lies about their worth, their abilities, and their potential. This silent inner dialogue controls everything: your confidence, your resilience, your dreams. But what if you flipped the script? What if every word you spoke to yourself was charged with strength and unwavering belief? Imagine waking up and telling yourself, "I am capable, I am enough, I will overcome." That shift alone rewires your brain, floods your body with courage, and unlocks doors you thought were closed forever. Self-belief isn't some vague idea reserved for the lucky few. It's a skill you build by the way you speak to yourself. Your thoughts aren't random. They are patterns you create daily, like paths worn into your mind. When you choose words filled with power and encouragement, you carve a highway to success. When you allow doubt and negativity, you trap yourself in a maze of fear and limitation. One of the most profound realizations you can have is that you are the architect of your inner world. No one else controls your self-talk. That means you can rewrite your story whenever you decide. This is freedom. This is power. The moment you commit to speaking to yourself with strength, you take back control of your life. Let me share a story. There was a man who faced relentless criticism and failure. Every time he stumbled, his mind screamed he wasn't good enough, that he should quit. His inner voice was his harshest enemy. Then one day, he chose to change that voice. He started telling himself, "You are stronger than this. You can learn from this. Keep moving forward." Those words became a shield, deflecting doubt and fear. That man transformed. He didn't just survive, he thrived. That power came from the strength of his self-talk. This isn't just anecdote, it's science. Neuroscience shows that the language we use to ourselves affects brain chemistry. Positive affirmations release dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that promote motivation and happiness. Negative self-talk triggers stress hormones, sabotaging your mental and physical health. Speaking with strength is literally rewiring your brain for success. But strength in self-talk doesn't mean blind optimism or ignoring challenges. It means facing your reality with honesty and then choosing words that empower instead of weaken. Instead of "I can't do this," say "I will find a way to do this." Instead of "I'm a failure," say "I am learning and growing every day." The difference is subtle but seismic. The battle for self-belief is fought in the moments no one sees, the quiet mornings, the late nights, the moments of doubt when you stand at a crossroads. Your words in those moments determine whether you stay stuck or break free. This is where true warriors are made. This is where your future is forged. Developing strong self-talk requires awareness. You must listen to your inner dialogue as if you were a close friend. Are your words harsh or kind? Are they limiting or liberating? Only when you catch negative patterns can you replace them with empowering truths. It takes practice but is deeply rewarding. Start small. Choose one phrase that inspires you and repeat it daily with conviction. Make it your mantra when fear or doubt arises. Over time, these words will become your default, your inner anthem. You will notice subtle shifts in your attitude, your confidence, your choices. Another powerful technique is to speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply care about. We often treat ourselves worse than strangers or friends. Imagine the compassion, encouragement, and strength you would offer a loved one in struggle. Give that same kindness and power to yourself. You also need to be mindful of the stories you tell yourself about your past and your future. Are these stories filled with defeat, blame, and hopelessness? Or are they stories of resilience, growth, and possibility? The narrative you hold is the lens through which you see the world. Change that narrative, and you change your life. Self-belief ignites action. When you trust yourself, you make decisions with clarity and courage. You take risks because you know setbacks won't define you. This confidence is magnetic. It attracts opportunities, relationships, and success. People respond to your inner strength even before you say a word. But beware, self-talk is a double-edged sword. If left unchecked, negative language can spiral into self-sabotage. It's easy to fall into patterns of blame, guilt, or despair. The difference is how quickly you catch yourself and redirect the conversation. This is discipline. This is self-love in action. Imagine your mind as a garden. Every word you speak plants a seed. Will you grow weeds of doubt and fear, or will you cultivate flowers of strength and belief? The choice is yours every moment. This journey also requires patience. You won't master your inner voice overnight. There will be setbacks, moments when the old voice screams louder. That's normal. The difference is persistence, coming back to your empowered words again and again until they drown out the noise. You might ask, how do I sustain this when life gets hard? When criticism floods in, when failures mount, when loneliness creeps? The answer lies in commitment. A commitment to your highest self, to the belief that you deserve success and happiness, to the knowledge that you have everything you need inside you already. Speaking to yourself with strength is the foundation of resilience. It's the shield you carry into every battle, whether it's a challenging conversation, a big project, or a moment of doubt. It reminds you that you are not defined by circumstances but by your response to them. This practice also builds self-respect. When you speak kindly and powerfully to yourself, you set the standard for how others treat you. You send a clear message that you value yourself and that you expect respect and kindness from the world. Consider the impact on your mental health. Negative self-talk fuels anxiety, depression, and stress. Changing this dialogue calms your mind, brings peace, and fosters joy. Your inner strength becomes a sanctuary in turbulent times. This habit reshapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and start seeing yourself as a creator of your destiny. This shift unlocks creativity, passion, and a deep sense of purpose. You will find that as your inner voice grows stronger, your external voice will follow. You will speak up with more confidence, set boundaries without guilt, and express your truth without hesitation. Every great leader, athlete, artist, and innovator cultivates this skill. They know that the greatest battles are fought within before they are won outside. Your inner dialogue is the training ground for your outer achievements. Remember, your words have power. They can either imprison or liberate you. They can tear down or build up. They can create fear or inspire courage. The choice is always yours. Right now, decide to become the guardian of your mind. Commit to guarding your self-talk with vigilance and kindness. Speak to yourself as a champion speaks to a champion, with respect, strength, and belief. Your future depends on the words you choose today. Make them count. Fill your mind with language that propels you forward. Silence the critic, amplify the supporter. The voice inside you is your greatest ally. Train it, nurture it, and watch how your life transforms beyond what you imagined possible. You are worthy. You are strong. You are capable of incredible things. Speak these truths to yourself every day, and you will live them every day. This is more than motivation. It is a radical act of self-love. A bold declaration that you will no longer settle for less than you deserve. The moment you start speaking to yourself with strength and belief, you take control of your destiny. The rest is simply following through. So begin now. Look in the mirror and speak with conviction. I believe in myself. I am enough. I will rise. Let these words be the foundation of your life. Stand tall in your truth. Your strongest self is waiting for you, and it all starts with how you speak to yourself. The power to change your world lies in your voice. Use it wisely. Use it well. Now take this message deep into your heart. Carry it with you. Speak it often. Transform your life from the inside out. The time to believe in yourself is right now. Don't wait another second. Your life depends on it. Chapter 15. Visualize success and act like it is real. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. When you see success clearly and live as if it's already yours, you begin to reshape your reality in ways you never thought possible. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine your life as you want it to be. The success you crave, the goals you want to smash, the person you long to become. Do you see it? Can you feel the excitement, the confidence, the fulfillment pulsing through your veins? That vision is not a fantasy. It's a preview of your future. What many don't realize is this: the clearer and more real you make that picture in your mind, the more you train your brain to recognize the path to make it happen. There's something magical about visualization. It's more than wishful thinking. It's a psychological blueprint. When you visualize success vividly, your brain fires off the same neurons as if you were actually living it. This primes you for action and tunes your senses to spot opportunities you might otherwise miss. In essence, you are programming your subconscious mind to align with your goals. I want you to think of a moment in your life where you felt unstoppable. Maybe it was when you scored a big win, overcame a tough challenge, or simply experienced pure joy in your efforts. That feeling, that energy, can be summoned every single day through the power of visualization. When you begin your day by seeing yourself succeeding, you prime your mindset for victory. Your body and mind prepare to act accordingly. But visualization alone is not enough. It is the combination of seeing success and acting as if it's already yours that sets the winners apart from dreamers. When you move with confidence, speak with assurance, and carry yourself as though you have already achieved your goals, you radiate an undeniable energy that draws people, resources, and opportunities to you. I want to tell you about a man who transformed his entire life simply by changing how he saw himself. Years ago, he was stuck in a dead-end job, weighed down by doubt and fear. One day, he started spending 5 minutes every morning visualizing his ideal life, his dream career, the people he wanted around him, the freedom he craved. But he didn't stop there. He began acting in small ways that matched that vision, dressing sharper, speaking with more confidence, taking initiative. Slowly, the world around him changed to reflect the new version of himself he carried inside. His dream wasn't some far-off fantasy. It was a reality he pulled closer every day. There is real science behind this. Athletes use visualization to rehearse their performance before stepping onto the field. Studies show that the brain's motor cortex activates when imagining physical movement, strengthening the neural pathways. In other words, mentally rehearsing success prepares your body and mind to perform better when it counts. But the power of visualization goes beyond just performance. It shapes your beliefs and your identity. When you constantly see yourself as successful, capable, and worthy, you build an inner foundation that supports those outcomes. Your confidence grows, your fears shrink, and your decisions become clearer. This process rewires your brain, but it requires commitment. It means making visualization a daily habit, not a sporadic exercise. It means dedicating time every day to see yourself as the person you want to be, to feel what it feels like to succeed, and then to carry that feeling with you into your actions. Let's address a common misconception. Visualizing success does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging where you are and then deliberately choosing to focus on the outcome you want. It's about shifting your energy from resistance to attraction, from fear to faith. Acting as if success is real demands authenticity. It's not about pretending or putting on a mask. It's about embodying the qualities that will get you there: discipline, resilience, focus, and confidence. It's about choosing actions that reinforce your vision, even when you don't yet see the results. Every decision you make, every small choice to keep going, builds momentum. When you live in alignment with your visualization, the world responds. People notice your energy, doors open, and the universe conspires to support your journey. The beauty of this practice is that it transforms your mindset from scarcity to abundance. Instead of waiting for success to come to you, you step into it. You become a magnet for the life you want because you are already living it inside. Imagine waking up each day with a clear image of your goals, feeling the emotions of achievement so vividly that doubts fall away. Imagine walking through your day, carrying the confidence of someone who knows they will succeed. That is the power of visualization, combined with action. This method breaks through the invisible barriers that hold most people back. Those barriers are built from doubt, fear, and a lack of belief in what's possible. Visualization shatters those walls by allowing you to experience success mentally first, creating a hunger and determination to make it real. Think about what your life would be like if you stopped hesitating, stopped waiting for permission, and started acting right now, as if your success were already unfolding. How would your relationships change? Your work? Your sense of purpose? This is not magic. It is discipline and intention. The power to change your life is within you, and visualization is one of the most effective tools to unlock that power. It's important to pair your visualization with clear, purposeful actions. Seeing your success gives you direction, but only action moves you forward. Start with the smallest step that aligns with your vision. Each step is proof to your mind that your dream is possible. The combination of seeing and doing creates unstoppable momentum. When your mind is focused on success and your body is moving toward it, nothing can stop you. If fear creeps in, return to your vision. Let it remind you why you started. Let it fuel your courage. Remember that every successful person faced doubt but chose to act despite it. Be consistent. Make visualization a ritual. Use it to start your day, to recharge when you feel down, to push through tough moments. The more you immerse yourself in the feeling of success, the more natural it becomes to act like it is your reality. One of the biggest obstacles to this practice is impatience. Results don't always come overnight. The difference is that when you live your vision daily, setbacks don't stop you. They become temporary hurdles instead of full stops. Your vision is a compass. Your actions are the path. Together they guide you to the life you want. Without either, you are lost or stuck. Visualize the life you deserve with every detail you can imagine. The sights, sounds, smells, feelings. Make it so real that your mind has no choice but to accept it as possible. Then step into that vision in your daily life. Speak, move, and think like the person who owns that success. This alignment creates a powerful force that pulls your dreams from imagination into reality. When you do this, you no longer live by chance or luck. You live by design. You become the creator of your story instead of a passenger. The world is full of people who wish for better but don't act. Don't be one of them. Harness the power of your mind and body together. See it clearly, believe it deeply, and act decisively. Your future self is waiting. That person is already living the success you desire. Your job is to bring that self into the present moment, every day, until the world has no choice but to follow. So start now. Close your eyes. See your victory in full color. Feel it in your bones. Then take the next step toward making it real. The path to success is not a mystery. It's a process you can control. Visualization combined with consistent, confident action will break through every barrier standing between you and your goals. Your mind is the starting point of every great achievement. Command it to see success, command your body to live it, and watch as the impossible becomes inevitable. This is your moment. Seize it with clarity and conviction. Visualize deeply, act boldly, transform your life from the inside out. Your destiny is waiting for you. Step into it now.
Chapter 16. Push yourself daily and never settle for comfort. Comfort is the silent assassin of greatness, quietly convincing you to settle for less when you were born to rise above and push beyond every limit. Every day the choice stands before you: remain in the familiar warmth of comfort or step into the fire of growth. The truth is that comfort is seductive. It wraps around your soul like a soft blanket, whispering that all is well and urging you to stay still. But if you settle for comfort, you will never know how powerful, resilient, and extraordinary you truly are. You must push yourself every single day, not once in a while, not when it feels convenient, but with relentless, unyielding determination. The journey to greatness is not paved with ease. It's built by those who reject complacency and embrace the struggle as the only path to transformation. Think about the moments when you felt truly alive, when you stepped outside your safe zone, stretched your limits,
and conquered something that once seemed impossible. That surge of energy, that rush of accomplishment, is the reward for pushing beyond comfort. Those moments aren't accidents. They are earned through courage and daily effort. Comfort is a trap because it breeds stagnation. The longer you linger there, the more your potential slips away, hidden beneath layers of excuses and hesitation. Your dreams grow distant, and the fire inside dims. The only way to keep that fire blazing is to push yourself constantly, to chase discomfort like a fuel that propels you forward. The process of pushing daily is not always glamorous. Some days will be brutal. You will face fatigue, doubt, and the urge to quit. But each time you resist comfort, you build a muscle inside yourself, a muscle of discipline, resilience, and iron will that grows stronger with every challenge. Imagine a sculptor shaping a masterpiece. Every strike of the chisel chips away the excess, revealing the beauty beneath. You are that sculptor of your own life. Every uncomfortable decision, every step beyond what feels easy, is a strike against the statue of who you once were, revealing the extraordinary person you are becoming. Here's the secret many never realize: comfort is the enemy of progress, but discomfort is the crucible of growth. When you push yourself into discomfort, you enter a zone where real change happens. Your mind rewires, your body adapts, and your spirit strengthens. This daily push is not just about physical effort, it's about mental toughness. It's about refusing to let your fears, doubts, and excuses dictate your future. It's about deciding that your goals are worth every ounce of struggle, every moment of pain. Consider the stories of those who achieved greatness. They didn't get there by waiting for the perfect moment or avoiding discomfort. They got there by showing up every day, grinding through resistance, and pushing harder when it would have been easier to stop. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you chip away at your potential. Every time you push through discomfort, you add a brick to the foundation of your future success. The choice is clear, but it requires honesty. Are you willing to be uncomfortable for a better life? Are you ready to trade short-term ease for long-term greatness? The path to excellence demands sacrifice. It demands that you confront the lazy voice inside your head that just wants to quit, rest, or settle. That voice is your biggest opponent, and the only way to defeat it is to push harder. Pushing yourself daily means embracing the grind, celebrating small wins, and learning from failures without losing momentum. It means showing up even when motivation fades, knowing that discipline carries you through. Visualize the person you want to become, the one who never settles, who fights for every inch of progress. That person doesn't negotiate with comfort. They see discomfort as a sign they're moving forward, growing stronger, evolving. This mindset transforms your entire approach to life. You stop fearing pain or struggle and start seeing them as signals of growth. You learn to thrive in the uncomfortable zones because that is where greatness is born. There will be days when you want to quit, when every muscle screams for rest and your mind begs for relief. These are the moments that define you. Push through them. Those moments are your proving ground. Understand that pushing yourself is not about reckless overexertion or burnout. It's about intentional, purposeful effort that stretches your limits without breaking you. It's a balance of challenge and self-care that keeps you moving forward sustainably. This relentless drive will reshape how you see yourself. Instead of someone at the mercy of circumstances, you become the architect of your destiny. You prove to yourself daily that you are stronger than your excuses, braver than your fears, and more capable than you believed. There is no magic formula or secret shortcut. The secret is simple. Keep pushing, keep moving forward,
Keep refusing to settle for the comfort zone's empty promises. This process will change your entire life trajectory. When you push daily, doors open that you never imagined, your confidence skyrockets, and your resilience becomes unshakable. Remember, every person who has ever achieved something remarkable started exactly where you are now, facing the choice between comfort and challenge. What sets them apart is that they chose challenge every single day. Now I want you to ask yourself, are you willing to push through discomfort to become the person you want to be? Are you ready to say no to settling, no to excuses, and yes to growth? It starts today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, begin by taking one step outside your comfort zone. Do one thing that scares you, challenges you, or makes you uncomfortable. Every day after that, do it again. The cumulative effect of these daily pushes will astonish you. You will build strength you never knew you had, and open doors you thought were forever closed. Your future self will thank you. The life you desire is waiting on the other side of discomfort, but you must be willing to push, to fight, and to refuse to settle. Don't wait for motivation. Create it through action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Make this moment perfect by choosing growth over comfort. This is your call to arms, your invitation to step into a life defined by relentless progress, by pushing every day, and by never settling for anything less than your highest potential. You are capable of more than you realize. Push yourself today, and every day after that. Break the chains of comfort and rise into the greatness you were born to claim. Your journey to extraordinary begins with a single decision. Choose discomfort, choose growth, choose to push yourself beyond every limit. Now go and make that choice. Live it, own it, transform your life.
Chapter 17. Reflect weekly and adjust your life with honesty. If you want to change your life, you must be brave enough to look at yourself honestly, without filters, without excuses, without hiding behind stories you tell yourself, and then be willing to adjust what isn't working. Reflection is not a passive act. It's an active, powerful force that can either keep you stuck in patterns that drain you or propel you forward into a life of purpose and growth. The weekly habit of stepping back and taking a clear-eyed view of your progress, your choices, and your mindset is where real transformation begins. Imagine running a business without ever reviewing your numbers, your strategies, or your customer feedback. You wouldn't know where you're winning or where you're bleeding money. You wouldn't know which products to push or what to cut loose. Yet, many of us live our lives without pausing to reflect and adjust. We stay on autopilot, hoping things will get better, but without real insight, progress stalls. The practice of reflecting weekly is like giving yourself a personal business review. It's a chance to look at what you did, what worked, what didn't, and what needs to change. This is not about judgment or beating yourself up. It's about honest awareness. The truth is your most powerful ally if you are willing to face it. When you reflect with honesty, you stop pretending. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances or others for where you are. You take full responsibility for your life. And that's when the magic happens, because ownership gives you the power to change everything. This weekly pause is your checkpoint. It forces you to slow down amid the noise of daily life and connect deeply with your real priorities. It lets you realign with your vision when distractions pull you away. Without it, your goals become vague wishes and your actions become scattered. Think about the last week you had. How many moments were spent reacting rather than acting? How many times did you drift through tasks without purpose? How often did you sacrifice your own well-being or values just to get through the day? This is not a call to guilt, but a call to awareness. When you commit to weekly reflection, you create a rhythm of self-accountability that's hard to escape. You ask the tough questions: did I live according to my values? Did I invest my time where it matters? Did I push myself beyond comfort? Did I own my failures and learn from them? Did I celebrate my wins, no matter how small? This is where honesty becomes crucial. It's easy to fool yourself into thinking you did enough, that you're on the right track, or that your excuses are valid. But true progress demands brutal honesty. It means facing the uncomfortable truths about how you show up in your own life. Reflection without honesty is useless. It's like looking in a mirror that distorts your image. But when you commit to seeing yourself clearly, without distortion, you open a door to real growth. You see where you slipped, where you held back, and where you need to pivot. Adjusting your life means making changes, sometimes small, sometimes big. It means rewriting the story you've been living. It means changing your daily habits, your mindset, or your relationships. It means being flexible enough to say, this isn't working, so I need to try something different. Too often, people cling to what's familiar, even if it's harmful or limiting. They resist change because it feels risky or uncomfortable. But growth demands movement. It demands that you tear down old structures to build new ones that serve your highest self. Weekly reflection forces you to confront this resistance. It reveals where you are holding on too tightly to habits, beliefs, or routines that no longer serve you. It challenges you to break free from those chains and craft a life aligned with your deepest desires. There's also incredible freedom in this practice. When you reflect and adjust regularly, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You stop waiting for life to happen to you. Instead, you become the active creator of your reality, steering your course with intention and clarity. This practice rewires your mind. It strengthens your self-awareness and emotional intelligence. You start catching yourself earlier when you slip into patterns that don't serve you. You become more proactive rather than reactive. You start to live with purpose every single day. The emotional weight of carrying unresolved issues, unspoken regrets, or unexamined behaviors lifts when you bring them into your weekly reflection. You create space to process, release, and reset. This lightens your mental load and opens up energy for growth. It also sharpens your focus. Instead of scattering your efforts across too many directions, reflection helps you prioritize what truly matters. You learn to say no to distractions and yes to what fuels your vision. When you reflect with honesty, you become your own mentor and coach. You develop the habit of self-correction that no one else can do for you. This autonomy is empowering because it puts your transformation in your hands where it belongs. Reflection also builds resilience. Life will throw challenges at you, and plans will sometimes fail. But if you are in the habit of looking back, learning and adjusting, setbacks become temporary detours rather than dead ends. You bounce back faster and stronger. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking reflection is a passive activity, something you do only when things go wrong. The truth is that reflection is a proactive tool, a strategic weapon for success. The most successful people in any field are relentless in their self-review and adjustment. By reflecting weekly, you create a feedback loop that accelerates your growth. You learn faster, adapt quicker, and get clearer on your purpose. It's like having a GPS that recalculates your route whenever you stray, ensuring you stay on the fastest path to your goals. This habit also deepens your connection with yourself. You start to understand your motivations, your fears, and your triggers. You become more compassionate with yourself and more intentional with your energy. Now I want you to imagine what your life would look like if you committed to this weekly ritual. How much clearer would your path become? How many bad habits would you shed? How many opportunities would you seize? How much closer would you get to the person you want to be? You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Reflection is a process, a journey. Each week carve out time just for you. Quiet, uninterrupted, honest time. Journal your thoughts, ask yourself hard questions, review your wins and losses, and plan your next steps. Be fearless in your honesty. If you made mistakes, own them. If you avoided something, admit it. If you succeeded, celebrate it fully. This balance of truth and kindness to yourself is where real change takes root. Remember, this is not about perfection, it's about progress. Every honest reflection is a victory. Every adjustment is a step forward. The goal is not to beat yourself up, but to guide yourself with clarity and integrity. As you build this habit, you'll notice a profound shift in how you relate to your goals and your daily actions. You become less reactive to external pressures and more in tune with your internal compass. You stop wandering aimlessly and start living intentionally. If you want to master your life, you must master your reflection. Weekly honesty isn't a chore, it's your secret weapon. It's the quiet power behind every successful person who refuses to settle or stagnate. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, set aside time each week to look honestly at your life. Don't shy away from what you find. Face it head on. Ask yourself what's working and what isn't. Then, commit to adjusting what's holding you back. The path to extraordinary living is paved with moments of honest reflection and courageous adjustment. It is here, in this sacred space, that you unlock your highest potential. Take this moment now to decide, will you keep drifting or will you choose to reflect, adjust and rise? The power is in your hands. Use it wisely. Your future self will thank you. Chapter 18. Celebrate progress, but stay hungry for growth. You fought battles no one saw, conquered fears that whispered you'd fail, and taken steps that felt impossible. Now it's time to celebrate those victories, but never lose the hunger that fuels your growth. Celebration is often overlooked in the quest for success. We rush from one goal to the next, forgetting to pause and acknowledge the strides we've made. Yet, celebrating progress isn't just about feeling good for a moment. It's about anchoring your mindset in success, building confidence, and fueling the fire that drives you forward. Imagine reaching a milestone. Maybe it's a promotion, a personal best, or simply breaking a bad habit. If you don't celebrate, that moment loses power. It becomes just another passing day, another item crossed off a to-do list. Celebration gives your wins meaning. It reminds your brain that your hard work produces results worth honoring. But here's the catch. Celebration must be balanced with hunger. You can't let the joy of success turn into complacency. It's not about resting on laurels or telling yourself you're done. True champions know that progress is a stepping stone, not the final destination. There's a unique tension here, a powerful dance between satisfaction and ambition. Celebrating progress feeds your soul. Staying hungry for growth sharpens your edge. Together they create unstoppable momentum. Too many people fall into the trap of either constant dissatisfaction or false contentment. Some never celebrate their wins, leaving them feeling like they're always chasing a mirage. Others celebrate too much and lose the drive to push harder. You must learn to master this balance. When you recognize your achievements, you reinforce positive behavior. Your brain releases dopamine, wiring you to repeat actions that bring success. Celebration becomes a reward system that powers your discipline. At the same time, Hunger keeps you humble and focused. It reminds you there's always more to learn, higher to climb, and stronger to become. Hunger is the restless fire that prevents stagnation. It pushes you to seek new challenges, stretch beyond comfort zones, and redefine your limits. Think of the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and creators you admire. They celebrate their victories with genuine gratitude, but their eyes never lose that spark of hunger. That spark is the invisible force driving them to train harder, innovate more, and outwork everyone else. Celebration also builds resilience. Life will knock you down, and setbacks will come. When you've anchored yourself in recognizing progress, those moments of triumph become your fortress. They remind you that you're capable, that you've overcome before, and that you can do it again. Without celebration, the journey feels endless and exhausting. Without hunger, success becomes hollow and fleeting. You need both to thrive. So how do you celebrate progress in a way that fuels further growth? First, make it intentional. Don't wait for huge milestones to acknowledge your wins. Celebrate small victories daily, the extra hour you focused, the tough conversation you had, the new habit you stuck to. Second, celebrate authentically. Avoid superficial praise or empty gestures. Find what genuinely lights you up. A moment of reflection, sharing your success with a trusted friend, treating yourself in a meaningful way. This authenticity strengthens your connection to your progress. Third, document your wins. Keep a journal or log of your achievements. On tough days, review these reminders of your strength and commitment. This habit reinforces your progress and motivates you to keep pushing. At the same time, cultivate hunger by setting new goals that stretch you. Challenge yourself beyond what feels easy or comfortable. Ask, what's the next level for me? And then design a plan to get there. Hunger thrives on vision and purpose. Hunger also demands curiosity. Stay open to learning, feedback, and growth opportunities. Be willing to admit you don't know everything, and embrace the discomfort of being a beginner again. This mindset fuels continuous improvement. Another key to sustaining this balance is self-awareness. Tune in to how you feel after celebrating. Are you energized and motivated, or complacent and lazy? Adjust accordingly. If celebration dampens your hunger, recalibrate your mindset. If hunger blinds you to your progress, pause and appreciate. It's also important to celebrate others' successes along the way. When you recognize and uplift others, you build a community of growth. This support network inspires you to stay hungry while sharing joy. Here's a secret. Growth isn't a finish line you cross. It's a lifelong journey. When you celebrate, you acknowledge how far you've come. When you stay hungry, you keep walking forward. Every breakthrough you've experienced was fueled by moments of celebration, followed by renewed hunger. Remember the first time you nailed a skill or overcame a challenge. That sweet satisfaction sparked a hunger to improve even more. Don't rob yourself of this powerful cycle. Make celebration and hunger inseparable companions on your journey. Let them fuel each other to create unstoppable momentum in your life. Celebrate the warrior in you who refuses to quit. Celebrate the sacrifices, the late nights, the silent battles won in your mind. Feel pride for how far you've come. Then let that pride ignite a new hunger. A hunger to rise higher, dig deeper, and expand further than ever before. Hunger for growth turns today's victories into tomorrow's greatness. If you master this dance, you will never feel stuck or empty. You'll live each day energized by your progress and excited by your potential. Now take a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you truly celebrated your progress? How hungry are you right now to push beyond your current limits? Decide today that you will honor both, your wins and your hunger.
Write down your recent achievements. Thank yourself for the effort it took. Then set a new goal that challenges you deeply. This simple practice will transform your mindset and your life. You have the power to be both proud and hungry. Let this dual force carry you beyond anything you thought possible. Keep celebrating, keep growing, and never settle. Your future is waiting for your relentless hunger and your fierce appreciation of progress. Rise up now and own your journey. The world needs your unstoppable fire.
Chapter 19. Help others grow and lead by your example. If you want to change your world, start by lifting someone else's. True power lies not in what you achieve alone, but in how many you inspire and empower along the way. So many people focus solely on their personal success, chasing goals in isolation, unaware that the greatest impact comes from helping others rise beside them. The truth is, your growth multiplies exponentially when you become a catalyst for someone else's transformation. Leading by example creates a ripple effect far beyond your own life. Imagine a garden where every plant grows independently, but no one nurtures the soil. Eventually, the garden withers. Now picture a garden tended by a caring gardener, each plant supported, watered, and pruned. That is the power of leadership through example. Leadership isn't about titles or authority. It's about influence rooted in authenticity and action. When you live with integrity, discipline, and relentless pursuit of your goals, you send a message louder than words. People notice whether you realize it or not. But it's not enough to simply be a good example. The true leader reaches out, extends a hand, and helps others climb higher. They create environments where people feel safe to grow, fail, and try again. This is where real transformation happens. Helping others grow is not just about teaching or giving advice. It's about presence, empathy, and patience. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is listen, believe in someone's potential, and encourage them to keep moving forward when doubt creeps in. When you lead by example, you become a living proof of what's possible. Your struggles, your victories, your daily habits, all become lessons for others. Vulnerability strengthens your leadership because it shows that success isn't about perfection, but persistence. Reflect for a moment on the people who have inspired you. Were they flawless, or did they show up consistently, owning their journey with courage and honesty? Most likely, it was the latter. Their example lit a fire inside you, making you believe you could also rise. If you want to be that person for others, start by owning your story without shame or hesitation. Share your setbacks and how you overcame them. This honesty builds trust, the foundation of any meaningful influence. Helping others grow also requires humility. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you have all the answers, or that your way is the only way. True leadership means recognizing that growth is a shared journey. You learn as much from those you lead as they do from you. This mindset opens doors to collaboration, innovation, and deeper connections. When people feel seen and valued, their motivation skyrockets. Your example creates a culture where everyone feels empowered to bring their best selves. Another key aspect is consistency. Leadership by example demands showing up day after day with the same commitment and energy you expect from others. Your actions must align with your words. Anything less breeds doubt and disengagement. Think about the silent language of your habits. What does your morning routine say? How do you handle setbacks? What energy do you bring into conversations? These daily choices communicate volumes about who you are and what you stand for. One story that illustrates this is about a coach who transformed a struggling team, not by shouting instructions,
but by demonstrating relentless effort every practice. The players saw the coach's work ethic and mirrored it. Performance improved, but more importantly, a culture of dedication was born. Leadership through example also means setting high standards for yourself, not to prove superiority, but to raise the bar for what's possible. When you hold yourself accountable to your highest ideals, others are inspired to do the same. Yet, remember, this journey is not about perfection. Mistakes will happen, and when they do, the way you respond is another critical lesson. Owning your errors openly teaches resilience and growth mindset. It shows that setbacks are not failures but opportunities to evolve. To truly help others grow, you must cultivate a mindset of service. Ask yourself daily, how can I add value to someone else's life today? What can I do to make the path easier or clearer for those coming after me? This perspective shifts your focus from competition to contribution. It fills your journey with meaning beyond personal gain. When you invest in others, you create a legacy far greater than any individual achievement. Consider the power of mentorship, a relationship built on guidance, trust, and mutual growth. As a mentor, your example becomes a beacon in the fog for those navigating uncertainty. Your encouragement can be the difference between giving up and pressing on. But you don't need a formal title to mentor. Every interaction is an opportunity to influence. Your patience, your kindness, your willingness to share hard-earned wisdom, all ripple out in ways you might never fully see. This ripple effect is what turns ordinary lives into extraordinary stories of collective triumph. When you lead by example and help others grow, you become part of a movement larger than yourself. You fuel a chain reaction of empowerment that echoes across communities and generations. If you want your impact to endure, build relationships rooted in trust and respect. Listen more than you speak. Offer honest feedback, but always with compassion. Celebrate others' successes as enthusiastically as your own. Never underestimate the power of encouragement. Sometimes a simple word or gesture can awaken dormant potential in someone who's lost faith. Your belief in their abilities may be the spark that lights their way. The paradox is this: by helping others grow, you inevitably grow yourself. You develop empathy, patience, and deeper understanding. Your leadership evolves from transactional to transformational. This shift unlocks new levels of fulfillment and purpose. The journey to lead by example and help others grow is not easy. It demands courage to be vulnerable, discipline to stay consistent, and generosity to give without immediate return. But the rewards are profound. Imagine looking back years from now and seeing a trail of lives you touched, each one stronger, wiser, and more resilient, because you chose to lead with your actions. That is legacy. So ask yourself right now, what example are you setting? Who are you influencing by your daily choices? How are you investing in the growth of others around you? Begin today by committing to live authentically and lead courageously. Share your story, show up with integrity, and extend your hand to those who need it. Your example will be a light in the darkness for someone searching for a way forward. This is your invitation to step into a role that transcends personal success. Become the leader who ignites transformation, not just in yourself but in every life you touch. The world is waiting for your example to inspire change. Rise with purpose, lead with heart, help others grow, and watch how your own life blossoms in the process. Your journey toward greatness is not just for you, it's for everyone counting on you to show the way.
Chapter 20. Decide today that failure is never the end. Failure is not the final chapter of your story. It's the moment you decide whether to close the book or write a new page filled with strength and courage. Every person who has ever succeeded has faced moments when everything seemed to fall apart. The difference between those who break and those who break through lies in a simple but powerful choice: to refuse to accept failure as the end. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff after a fall. The pain is real, the fear is real, but so is the chance to rise again. What separates those who rise from those who stay down is not luck or talent. It is the decision to see failure as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Failure is often painted as something to avoid at all costs. Society makes us believe that failing means we are less than broken or incapable. But this is a lie that keeps potential locked away, suffocates ambition, and kills dreams quietly in the dark. In reality, failure is feedback. It's the universe's way of redirecting us toward growth. It reveals where adjustments are needed, where resilience must be forged, and where our deepest strengths lie hidden beneath layers of doubt and fear. Think about a seed buried in the soil. To become a towering tree, it must first crack open and push through dirt and obstacles. Failure is like that crack. Painful but necessary. Without it, growth stalls and potential remains buried. When you decide today that failure is never the end, you transform your mindset. You shift from a place of fear to a place of power. You choose to see setbacks as invitations to learn, to adapt, and to come back stronger than before. One of the most remarkable truths is that every successful person you admire has a history filled with failures, often more than you realize. They are not immune to defeat, they simply refuse to be defined by it. The story of Thomas Edison is a perfect example. When asked about his thousands of unsuccessful attempts at inventing the light bulb, he didn't say, "I failed." Instead, he said, "I found thousands of ways that won't work." His mindset transformed every failure into valuable insight. Your journey is no different. The moment you stop viewing failure as a dead end, you open doors to endless possibilities. You become unstoppable because your commitment to growth outweighs the fear of falling. But making this decision is not a one-time event. It requires daily reinforcement through discipline and self-compassion. When failure knocks, your response must be deliberate and unwavering. This is not my end. This is my next beginning. Sometimes failure feels like a heavy chain, holding you back from even trying again. This is where the battle in your mind takes place. Negative thoughts flood in, convincing you that quitting is easier, safer, or inevitable. Recognize these thoughts as illusions, not truths. Your mind's job is to protect you, but sometimes it does so by keeping you trapped. The power to break free lies in conscious choice, choosing hope over despair, action over paralysis. One effective way to solidify your refusal to accept failure as the end is to redefine what failure means to you personally. Instead of seeing it as a verdict on your worth, view it as evidence of courage, the courage to attempt, to risk, and to push beyond comfort. Each time you fall, remind yourself, you are brave for trying. You are growing with every challenge. You are alive with purpose, no matter the outcome. Remember, success is not a straight line. It's a winding road filled with detours, dead ends, and bumps that test your resolve. If you expect perfection or uninterrupted progress, you set yourself up for disappointment. Embracing failure as part of the process gives you freedom. Freedom to experiment, to innovate, and to explore new paths without the crushing weight of perfectionism. This freedom ignites creativity and resilience, two of the most valuable traits for anyone who wants to achieve lasting success. When you accept failure as a teacher, you invite a mindset that thrives on challenge rather than shrinks from it. Let me share a story of a woman who faced devastating loss and failure, but used that pain as a fuel to rise. After losing her business and nearly everything she owned, she refused to surrender. Instead, she studied her mistakes, sought new knowledge, and rebuilt her life from the ashes. Years later, her new ventures thrived, not because she avoided failure, but because she learned to harness it. Her greatest victories were born from the ashes of her defeats, proving that failure is never a full stop unless you allow it to be. Your past failures don't define your future. They only set the stage for the comeback story you're capable of writing today. The power to transform your life exists in this moment, in the decision to stand up and keep moving forward, no matter what. Imagine how different your life would be if every failure was met with a fierce determination to learn and improve. How many doors would open? How many new skills would you develop? How much closer would you get to the life you truly desire? To live without fearing failure is to live fully. It means embracing risk and uncertainty as allies rather than enemies. It means trusting yourself to handle whatever comes next, because you know you will not quit. This mindset requires daily practice. Start by reframing the narrative in your mind. When you experience setbacks, ask, what lesson is here? How can this moment prepare me for greater challenges ahead? Surround yourself with people who reinforce this belief. Find mentors, friends, or communities that celebrate perseverance and growth instead of just results. Their support will help keep your spirit unbreakable. Setbacks will come, and some will hurt deeply. Allow yourself to feel the pain, but refuse to let it settle into resignation. Pain can be a powerful teacher if you stay present with it and use it as fuel for change. Another critical piece is patience. Growth from failure rarely happens overnight. You must be willing to endure discomfort and uncertainty as your resilience builds. The greatest breakthroughs often appear after the darkest moments. Your commitment to keep going despite failure is a testament to your inner strength. It's a declaration to yourself and the world that your dreams matter more than any obstacle. By deciding today that failure is never the end, you create a foundation of unshakable hope. You empower yourself to move forward with confidence, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Now is the time to claim this mindset as your own. To promise yourself that no matter how many times you fall, you will rise again with more wisdom, more grit, and more determination. Failure can either break you or build you. The choice is yours. Choose to be built. Choose to be unstoppable. Take this truth with you. Every failure is a step toward mastery. Every setback is a lesson in disguise. Every moment you refuse to quit, you edge closer to the life you deserve. Let this decision fuel your daily actions, ignite your passion, and strengthen your resolve. Stand tall in the face of adversity. Keep moving, keep learning, keep growing. Your story is far from over. The best chapters are yet to come. Decide now that failure will never be the end of your journey. Choose to rise again and again until you become the person you were meant to be.